Welcome back guys to another video, and hello to the new people popping in for the first time. I'm FlrxSaucy and you're watching Disney Channel. Dun 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 dun. Alright, I'm joking. This is the JJK Season 3 Culling Games movie. I've combined all of my videos covering the JUJUTSU KAISEN Season 3 Culling Games arc and trimmed them down into a nearly 1.5 hour long movie for y'all to enjoy. It covers all the episodes of this season, being episodes 1 to 12, through my own retelling and analysis of the story. Now let's get the warnings and other stuff out of the way. My first time making anime/commentary review videos, so the first half of this movie is a bit wonky and the audio quality is all over the place. But it shouldn't take away from the viewing experience as things get better later on. To ensure you have the best viewing experience, make sure to put in some earbuds/headphones. There'll be some slight manga spoilers in here, but to all my anime onlys, I'll give you a warning beforehand. Much later on, there'll be some flashing lights, but I'll warn you about that as well. I also use black bar lines on the screen for anti-copyright purposes so that YouTube and MAPPA can eviscerate me. You'll see what I'm talking about real soon. Lastly, this warning's for YouTube. All the songs in this video are online guidelines and have been copyrighted previously, fall under YouTube's Creative Commons, are from the YouTube library, or are my own original works. This video falls under the Copyright Act of 1976 and falls under fair use. Also, any red liquids coming from the people is strawberry milkshakes that the cats are sharing with each other. This season of JUJUTSU KAISEN was so peak, I can't wait for part 2 to drop. Now with all that said, sit back and relax, grab some snacks, and enjoy the movie. Water. Earth. Fire. Air. Long ago, 4 nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Agenda is the only thing in my mind. Kind of victor stays to the end. Time scale ceilings, just fiction. The only thing that matters is ego. Let's go 1, 2, 3. It's on how you've died. Come back. It won't matter. You can take time to realize what you've done. You failing.
That was a crazy dream. Now, you may be wondering how I got here. My name's Yuta, and I'm a special grade sorcerer who is a part of JUJUTSU Kai. I get ready for the day just like anyone else. Got to brush my teeth, hit the shower,
La da dee, la da doo, la da da.
put on my fit, get the stuff ready for Maki later tonight. And then have my mandated dance break. Besides all that though, my life couldn't be any better. I have a press conference I have to get to soon and continue slaying curses to keep this world safe. Now that Gojo's gone, I'll have to be the sorcerer who stood up.
Yuta Kosu!
Yuta
over here! Yuta!
Over here, Yuta! Look over here, Yuta! We love you, Yuta!
Sir, answer this,
Over
please!
here, Yuta.
We love you, Yuta!
Yuta!
Look at me, look at me!
Yuta! Look over here, you know?
Hey! Yuta! Yuta, yo, Yuta!
Yuta, how do you feel about Gojo getting sealed?
It's a massive loss for everyone, and I can't believe that I'll be the one taking over his place temporarily.
What about Takaba? He's on the same level as Gojo.
Takaba? Who's that? I haven't met him yet. But even if he's as strong as me, if we had to fight, I'd probably win.
Yuta! We love her! Look over
Sure,
here!
answer this,
Look over
please.
here, Yuta!
It's been alleged that you're a fraud and a bum who's carried by Rika. What do you have to say about these comments?
They're LARPers, or so I've been told. I can perform very well, as you'll see later on during my fight in Sendai. But besides that, I love Rika very much and everything that she's done for me thus far. You over there. You're supposedly going to have to execute Yuji Itadori soon, correct? How does it feel having to eliminate a fellow student of Gojo? And what will you need to do next? I will do what's necessary to ensure that this world is safe from any threats. So, I will kill Itadori Yuji. Then afterwards, head back to Africa to enjoy some agusi soup, smoked fish with bunku, and some fried plantain. Oh, what a treat, what a treat. Until then, let's feast on this slander together.
JJK is back, y'all. I'm trying to do more anime videos up on here, and JJK has come to deliver. There's a lot of good animes coming out this year too. I'm happy to see where these shows go as more episodes come out. But let's get back on track. First time doing something like this on the channel, but I hope you guys enjoy. A lot of firsts this year, you know? First video, first anime reaction thing, whatever. But let's get into this. With a quick recap of Season 2, Gojo gets sealed and a bunch of people get marked in Shibuya. Fake Ghetto, aka Noritoshi Kamo, aka Kenjaku, releases a bunch of curses all over Japan, and the JJK world is in shambles. The higher ups call for Ghetto to be taken out again after the events of Shibuya. Gojo is considered an accomplice to the Shibuya incident, and anybody that tries to release him will be punished.
What do you say fuck me for?
They also really said screw Yaga and threw him under the bus just for teaching Gojo and Geto. Lastly, since Gojo is gone, Yuji is back up on the chopping block as his execution has been reinstated, and the OG MC, Yuta Kotsu, is appointed as his executioner. We start off the scene with Yuji washing his hands for a solid minute, as he's trying to get rid of the blood on his hands, but it doesn't go away, symbolically representing his guilt for the Shibuya incident. We then see him running away from this big creepy curse spirit, and then bursts through the window of the skyscraper that he's in as Yuta stalks him through another building. Yuji grabs these off-brand Nutrigrain bars, junk looking like a whole brick by the way, and eats it as more curses attack him. He then gets kidnapped by that big hand curse spirit and gets dragged around the city before he gets sliced. Yuji and the curse crash into the ground, and then we see Yuta upping the pole on Yuji. Crazy way to start the season, not gonna lie. Also, the opening for the season is super fire with its music and its imagery. But now we actually see the official start of JJK Season 3. We're introduced to a bigger fraud than Potential Man himself, Naoya Zenin. Imagine the most sexist, misogynistic, low-life bum. And 10x that, and that would be Naoya. He's really up there with Prime Ghetto talking about some filthy monkeys. Naoya starts by saying he's glad that Maki might die and doesn't care about the clan head, Nabito, being in critical condition. He continues his rant, basically saying that Maki doesn't know how to support a man and that women belong in the kitchen. He says that Mai is better in that regard and has better tits, mentioning that woman who can't humbly walk behind her man deserves to be stabbed and killed. Telling this bullshit directly to their mom, by the way.
Oh, you nasty ass bastard! You fucking nasty ass motherfucker! That's nasty, man!
Let me at him. I'll slime him out myself. 27-year-old bum, by the way, talking like that about minors who are also his blood relatives. Let's add pedo and incest to that list of bum Oya fraud allegations. He's also showing up late to the meeting about his own dad's medical condition. Also, he has Maki's mom get on the ground and open the door for him. Bro is out here acting all big and tough, saying that he's gonna become the next clan head. Bum is pushing 30 and is still getting babied. Just waiting for that nepotism to kick in. Naoya roasts his family members, saying that Ogi isn't like that due to his worthless daughters, and calls Junichi Chop to be the next clan head. Bruh. What is this guy talking about? What is this guy talking about, bro? Ogi and Junichi crash out for a moment while Naoya tries to aura farm. An old guy spawns in and says that Nabito Zenin has passed away from his injuries. In case y'all forgot, Nabito is the guy from Shibuya that got burned up by Jogo. The misogynist bum, the fraud, and the chopped one are all low-key aura farming from the slant swing around as the old man reads out the will. Long story short, the will reads that Naoya will become the next clan head and inherit everything as long as the other two agree to it. However, we always love however. However, in the case that Satoru Gojo is dead or incapacitated for whatever reason, the agreement with Toji Fushiguro will be honored. Meaning, Megumi will be accepted into the clan and made the new 27th leader of the Zenin clan. But Moya does not like the sound of that one bit, bruh. Potential Man really took his spot. Look at his face crashing out. Naoya rushes out to find Megumi and murk him, using the excuse of Itadori's execution being back on, trying to lure Megumi out. Unironically, saying that he's a nice clan head while getting his shoes tied by his aunt. 27 years old, by the way. Nepo baby wants his Zenin clan pacifier back ASAP. We cut to Yuji on a staircase having a PTSD moment about everything that went down in Shibuya, and Choso comes to his side asking him if he's alright. Yuji says he's physically fine besides from the black patch that he received from Mahito. He says that he was probably protected from all that damage due to Sukuna becoming stronger within him. Choso says that Itadori should head back to Jujutsu High, but Itadori ain't doing all that. He believes Sukuna is plotting something with Megumi, and he says that he can't be with everyone anymore due to him letting Sukuna go on a rampage. Itadori blames himself for all the deaths in Shibuya and killing Choso's brothers back in season 1. Choso tries to take the focus away from that, saying it wasn't his fault and that his brothers would do the same if they were in his place right now. They both redirect their focus, needing to get rid of the cursed spirits lurking around. Truly a brotherly moment, guys. Truly beautiful. Now, picking off where season 2 ended off, Yuji claps his hands, making curses appear. The green horn curse claps, making the bridge break and turn 90 degrees, with Yuji running up it and violating this flying swirl curse. He then decimates the other curse that was on the bridge with a devious punch after it flew him across the city, using its tooth to break his fall. Yuji gets chased by a bunch of curses as he leads them all to a tunnel where Choso is waiting. Yuji yells out Choso's name as piercing blood comes through the tunnel, booming all the curses chasing him, including the green horned curse. Yuji runs past Choso and we see another curse trying to sneak up on them, and Yuji is this four-armed curse, the donut treatment, as he aura farms in its blood. Choso out here glazing him too, calling him a war god. Naoya enters the chat as he spawns on top of the railing above Choso and Yuji. He seabisses Yuji, giving him a mean backhand. Choso sees this and is like that disrespect, rushing like a COD zombie. But Naoya sidesteps this and hits this man with a combo of doom. Wait. Ain't no way Mappa is really giving Bomoya, of all people, aura right now. Run that back right now. He really hit Choso with a 31-piece combo. He then steps on Choso's foot and hits it with another combo while fixing his hair. He really hit Choso with a 40+ piece combo with no bev. Have me look at my screen like this. Damn. I know Choso was out here choking. Naoya probably threw some Popeye's biscuits in the mix. Choso tries to counter but gets kicked in the back of the head. Yuji comes in for the assist, throwing the equivalent of a 50 cal straight at Naoya's dome. Unfortunately, Naoya avoids this and screws away with using his curse technique. Before the three of them start boxing again, they get stunlocked by a devious aura that fills the city. Is it Gojo? Is it fake Ghetto? Or something worse? Bruh. It's just the Rika merchant fraud Yuta out here hitting some zesty poses. Back it up, guys. Back it up. Yuta jumps down and Naoya immediately surrenders, not wanting any smoke as he says he's on Yuta's side. Yuji and Choso have a side chat before Yuji sprints off as Choso tries to give him cover with piercing blood. Naoya diverts Choso's attack and Yuta is right on Yuji's tail. Choso and Naoya chat for a moment as she sees that the piercing blood attack that was diverted cut off the curse's arm that was at the start of the episode. It then cuts all the way back to the beginning of the episode with Yuta upping pole on Yuji as Yuji leaps away, dodging all of Yuta's swings. Yuta air jumps using his cursed energy, blasting Yuji out of the building. Somehow, the show manages to glaze Gojo as Yuji is out here fighting for his life. We get 2 lessons on cursed energy from Gojo and Todo as Yuta and Itadori continue to fight. Todo talks about sorcerer's proficiency with cursed energy and how the more refined use of cursed energy helps you hide your attacks better. This statement is immediately irrelevant when talking about Yuta due to his overwhelming amount of cursed energy. Every blow that Yuta could throw could be a finishing move. Gojo then talks about the use of training with cursed tools and strengthening the tool with cursed energy. However, Yuji never learned that. Yuji glides through a jeep's window and grabs a combat knife sitting on the seat. He tries to imbue it with cursed energy but fails while blocking Yuta's katana. Yuta hits him with a mean knee to the chest as Yuji's knife breaks. Yuji gets sliced on the side by Yuta but counters by stomping Yuta's blade into the ground and snapping it. Yuji's wound is deep but he ignores it and tries to use this opportunity to use his left-right goodnight technique against Yuta. He rushes forward. However, Rika spawns in like a FNAF jump scare and grabs Yuji from behind, holding him in place. Look at the terror on Yuji's face right now. Dog, he's so cooked. Yuta walks Yuji down and slimes him out, ending the episode off there. Episode 2 starts off with Naoya versus Choso's fight. Naoya rushes Choso and pins him to the wall, hitting him with another insane combo. Naoya keeps applying pressure and continues to pummel Choso as Choso is stressing, since he can't use any of his blood manipulation. Now either Choso is a literal tank, or Naoya hits for no damage, because after all that, Choso comes out with little damage on him. Bruh, Naoya is really a pillow puncher for real. Literally doing 0 damage. Naoya tries to size up Choso before blitzing around him with his technique. Choso is slowly adapting to the projection sorcery and nearly hits Naoya with a mean right hook as soon as Naoya got in range. Naoya dodges this and stabs Choso with a knife that he had hiding away in his outfit. Naoya was really clowning his family members, by the way, for using weapons when he had one himself. True fraud. Naoya and him have a talk about family as Choso continues to bleed. Naoya finally realizes this and runs away as a tsunami of blood comes crashing down the tunnel that they're in. Naoya's legs are almost stuck in place due to the blood that's on his outfit, as Choso aims a piercing blood at him. Projection sorcery allows Naoya to basically ignore his heavy-set legs and rushes towards Choso. Naoya panics, thinking, why hasn't Choso fired at him? But we see that Choso was charging up his own special move, Supernova. The Supernova gives Naoya back shots and got him on his knees. Choso is about to deliver the finishing blow, but the bush camper Yuta himself walks in, dragging Yuji's body behind him. He gives Choso a mean backhand that knocks him out, and then turns his attention back to Naoya, who's vomiting blood due to Choso's poisonous attribute as a death painting. Yuta tells Naoya that I can let you die here, or I can heal you, and you can be a good boy, and tell the higher-ups that I 200 pumped Itadori. We get a flashback of baby Yuji as we see his dad and grandpa talking about his dead mom. His gramps is telling Jin to avoid her, because that's not her. Right as he says that, the mom walks in with staples on her forehead. And you know who else has staples on his forehead? Yeah, that's right. Kenjaku is on some freaky timing. Them stitch scars almost healed all the way, so you know he's been in that body for a while. A long while. Yuji wakes up to Yuta mean mugging him for a second before dropping the act and being glad that Yuji is alive. Yuji is sitting in shock because the last thing that he knew, he was getting the JUJUTSU KAISEN treatment and got murked by Yuta. Yuta explains that Gojo went to see him a few months ago before the Shibuya incident, telling him to take care of the first and second year Jujutsu High students. He wasn't worried about the gambling addict Hakari though. Quick side tangent though. I've seen that the dub ain't come out yet for this season. Mappa, let me voice act Hakari or Kashimo for JJK. Mappa, I need this. My voice acting career kinda jobless. I've been waiting to be a voice actor and I wanna help y'all out. Alright, besides that, I can't wait to see the GOAT in action. Yuta explains that he brought Yuji back to life using RCT immediately after killing Yuji. The two of them have a back and forth a bit about the powers that are put upon them as Megumi pops up. Yuji still feels guilty about everything that went down in Shibuya, but Megumi ain't letting Yuji be more depressed than he is, as he is basically telling Yuji to lock in and keep proving his worth as a sorcerer. He says he needs Yuji's strength as Fake Ghetto, aka Kenjaku, has started the Culling Games and has dragged Megumi's sister into the mix. The Culling Games are basically a giant battle royale of cursed spirits and sorcerers from all the eras, new and old. A legit Fortnite battle royale moment. Call it the Fortnite Sorcerer Games.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We see the Culling Game rules, and guys, the OST for this moment goes so hard. Alright, enough of all that. Let me break down the Culling Games rule for y'all real quick. It went by real fast in the anime. Rule 1. After awakening a cursed technique, players must declare their participation in the Culling Games at a barrier of their choice within 19 days. Rule 2. Any player that breaks the previous rule shall be subject to cursed technique removal, basically meaning death if you don't join. Rule 3. Non-players who enter the barrier become players at the moment of entry and should be considered to have declared participation in the Culling Games. So basically, if you accidentally stumble into a barrier and you're a regular human, you're cooked. Rule 4. Players score points by ending the lives of other players. Rule number 5. Points are determined by the Game Master and indicate the value of a player's life. As a general rule, sorcerers are worth 5 points, and non-sorcerers are worth 1 point. Rule number 6. Excluding the point value of a player's own life, players may expend 100 points to negotiate with the Game Master to add one new rule to the Culling Games. Rule number 7. In accordance to the previous rule, the Game Master must accept any proposed new rule unless it has a marked and long-lasting effect on the Culling Games. So if you really wanted to, you could spend 100 points and make everybody do something simple, like eating 2 burgers a day, or doing 100 push-ups every 2 hours, or something extreme, like not using a domain expansion for a short period of time, as long as it doesn't have a long-lasting effect on the actual game itself. Rule number 8. If a player's score remains the same for 19 days, that player should be subject to curse technique removal. Once again, meaning death if you don't play the game as intended. Megumi, Yuji, and Yuta plan their next move as Megumi continues to give Itadori the rundown. They plan to go see Tengen to get answers about everything involving Kenjaku and other things involving the culling games. Tengen is the person that controls all the Jutsu high barriers, and was the one that needed to absorb the star plasma vessel back in season 2. Itadori then asked about Nobara to Megumi, with Megumi looking away in sorrow. Now, this is a low-key a sad moment for the game considering everything that they've been through, but this next part fries me. Choso pops out the shadows talking about how they'll reach Tengen, but the funniest part to me here is how Megumi, of all people, got jump scared by this and scurries away from him. This fraud, whose whole technique is about using shadows, gets jump scared by Choso hiding in the shadows, and he's low-key doing it better than Megumi. At this point, Megumi should just hand over his 10 shadows technique to somebody else. But now we head back to Jujutsu High and we see the whole gang get together. Maki has also survived the Shibuya incident due to her strong, heavily restricted body, but the burn scars still remain even after getting healed with reverse curse technique. She got an insane buff within the span of a few days, low-key, and she is going to continue to get so much stronger in the next episodes, guys. But I digress. He also explains to the whole crew how they reached Tengen by using the side effects of his curse technique to track his remaining siblings to the correct door. The crew was down for the plan, but Choso was put on front watch by Maki saying, "Who are you?" Yuji comes to the rescue and says that's his older brother. It takes a second for Choso to register it, but when the group is about to leave, he gets hyped. They make it to the corridor where Tengen resides, and they see the bloodstains from when Amanai got boomed by Toji. Yuji asks what happened here, and Yuki replies that it was an event 12 years ago, and that's what probably led to the current change of events. We're not gonna sit here and pretend like Yuki isn't the main reason that this stuff hasn't happened, right? Like obviously Toji, you know, did his thing with that. But then she incites Geto to start acting crazy. So let's not pretend like, you know, that's where it started, because y'all could have done so much better. They make it to where Tengen would be, but they don't see anyone, thinking that Tengen is rejecting them. As they make their way to leave, Tengen spawns in behind them, addressing them by lineage. Child of Zenin, descendant of Michizane, first room death painting, and vessel of Sukuna. Bruh, got me geeked, bro. Even Tengen doesn't want to talk about Yuki. Yeah, Yuki, you might be on fire watch, bro. The episode ends there, as we gotta wait another week for the next episode. I also want to quickly bring up the fact of how close Gojo and Geto were achieving their goals in season 2. From the looks of it, if Geto just walked Amanai down the hall, all this could have been avoided. From the distance that Yuji and the crew walked from the bloodstain where Tengen was, it was probably like maybe a 2-minute walk, right? in their time. So if they were able to actually do that, all of this could have been avoided. But Toji really screwed everyone over, bro. But unfortunately, anime and manga never gets lucky like that, you know? There's gonna be some sad backstory, some tragic event. Gotta keep the plot going.
Bring that ass here, boy.
Emergency additional episode for you guys. Episode 3 just dropped, and we got a lot more information through a Yap Fest. A much needed Yap Fest, might I add, because the next episodes are gonna be wild. I've already covered the Culling Game's rules, which is what most of this episode is about. However, I'll quickly cover some notable things about this episode. Picking straight up from episode 2, Tengen addresses the crew by lineage. Yuki is actually annoyed that she didn't get a greeting from Tengen, while the others are shocked by Tengen's physical appearance. Tengen mentions that this isn't their first time meeting with Yuki, and that she had to hide herself away due to the fear of the crew, specifically Yuki, being aligned with Kenjaku. Yuji asks why Tengen looks like a lump of Play-Doh, or Thum Thum, a kid's clay project, like a
Alright, you guys get the point, you get the point. She tells the group that since she failed to assimilate with the star plasma vessel, her body has evolved and she has begun to age rapidly, having lost her original physical appearance. The group wants to know about Kenjaku and how to unseal Gojo from the prison realm. Tengen is willing to tell them on one condition: that you guys should subscribe to FlrxSaucy and like the video. Yeah. Alright, I'm trolling. But you should still do that, guys. Tengen's condition is that out of Choso, Yuki, and Yuta, 2 of them have to stay behind and guard her. Baby girl Yuki gets upset by that fact as Tengen begins her backstory about Kenjaku. Tengen says that Kenjaku plans to force the evolution of mankind through all of Japan. Now, before I continue with the rest of the Yap session, I just want to talk about these stunning visuals. The animators managed to make an exposition dump look so wonderful, and it seems to go so fast. This episode is low-key formulated like a video game level, with all the designs and planning of events for the upcoming battles for the season. It's also really cool to see a lore dump be done like this, and helps the story have much better world building for later arcs. Alright, back to Yap Dash. Megumi wonders why Kenny didn't use Tengen's barriers to force evolution with mankind in Japan. Tengen replies that Kenjaku just lacked the cursed energy to do so, and that evolving people with a technique one at a time is inefficient. So Kenny's plan will basically make mankind assimilate with Tengen to force its evolution. The gang does not listen to that idea at all. Yuki looks like she's ready to go beat on people right then and there. Yuji and Megumi conclude that it shouldn't be possible to assimilate with anybody else besides the star plasma vessel. But since Toji one-shot Riko Amanai in season 2, Tengen started evolving and became possible to merge with other individuals. Now that Tengen has evolved, her soul is everywhere, and she's a part of the Jujutsu world, no longer a physical being, but the people that merge with her becoming a whole new creature that exists and doesn't exist at the same time. Meaning that if even one person goes bad, it will spread like a plague to the rest of the merged people and essentially end the world. We don't even know why Kenny's trying to do this at the moment. I want whatever he's on, cause bro really be taking back shots and plotting world domination within the same period of time. Absolute insanity. Maki questions whether Tengen could just reject the assimilation, but Tengen responds saying that since her evolution, she's become more cursed spirit than human, meaning that she can be targeted by cursed spirit manipulation and would be instantly absorbed due to Kenny's strength and proficiency as a sorcerer. That's why Tengen currently needs guards to protect her, because Kenny will eventually try to find her and absorb her.
What? We're flying to Philadelphia! Oh, hell no! Hell no!
We learned that Kenjaku has been involved with Sukuna in the past, meaning that he's at least 1,000 years old. That body swapping technique is really doing wonders for him. Yuki's concerned why all this is happening now, as Tengen says that she, the Six Eyes, and the Star Plasma Vessel are all connected by fate. Kenny was stopped twice in the past by sorcerers with the Six Eyes. The second time, however, Kenny was more careful and eliminated both the Six Eyes user and the Star Plasma Vessel at birth. However, both of them came on the day of Tengen's assimilation. This happened due to the 3 of them being connected by fate. The new users will keep popping up, even if the previous one dies. Fate is literally grabbing their reboot cards. Kenny realizes this and then went on the hunt for the prison realm to seal Gojo instead of killing him, because there can't be 2 alive and active people with the Six Eyes. Then, the unexpected happened with Toji interfering and killing the Star Plasma Vessel. Since he had no cursed energy through his Heavenly Pact, he destroyed the fate connecting the 3 of them. Gojo, also being alive at that time, basically gave Kenjaku all the pieces he needed without even trying. And 6 years ago, he gained the prison realm. Now, the Culling Games is the warm-up for the simulation between Tengen and humanity that is basically being used to farm cursed energy from the sorcerers fighting and dying. Tengen talks about all the Culling Game rules, but since I already did that, I'm just going to go over the bulk of it, only mentioning the additional details. Getting rid of Kenny won't get rid of the Culling Games, as he's had to undergo several binding vows to make these games possible. A prime example is that he can't be the game master to tip the balance of the games to his favor. The only way for the games to end is for everyone to die or to refuse to participate and die. Literally a win-win for Kenjaku at that point. The group plans to create a rule that allows people who don't want to participate to leave the game, while also trying to figure out how to unseal Gojo. Yuki and Choso offer to stay behind and protect Tengen, as she then reveals the back of the prison realm to the group. But first of all, nah, I see you, Choso. Bro think he's slick. He really just wanted the ISO to be with Yuki's fine ass. I respect the hustle though, I respect the hustle. This part of the prison realm is literally a back door
that can be used to unseal Gojo. However, you can't open it normally since that authority lies with Kenny and you have to force it open, so they have to use cursed tools that negate cursed techniques. But Gojo destroyed them all during separate events. Gojo really might be on Fraud Watch next. Bro got his ass beat so bad, they had to get rid of all those weapons ASAP. So now, the group is on the hunt for a reincarnated sorcerer called Angel, who can extinguish cursed techniques through her own cursed technique. She's in the colony on the east side of Tokyo. The Culling Game's barriers reject Tengen, so she can't get any more information on the situation. We continue to learn that the 10 colonies make up the Culling Games, with the entire games lasting about 2 months. Skipping over the Culling Games rules section of this episode, we get to the individual plans for each member. Yuki and Choso will stay behind to protect Tengen. Maki is going to get weapons from Juzo's workshop, then accumulate more cursed tools from the Zenin clan vault. Afterwards, she'll meet up with Panda and join the Culling Games. Yuta will immediately plan the Culling Games to get as much info as possible before Megumi and Megumi's sister join the Culling Games. Yuta plans to avoid nearby colonies so none of them clash into each other. Since the colonies are large barriers, Yuta will be out of contact. Yuta and Yuji realize this and try to plan around it due to the earlier promise of Yuta killing Itadori if Sukuna takes over. But Megumi tries to tough it out like an idiot. Megumi and Itadori go to look for Hakari Kinji and recruit him to the team.
And I know you watching this video, be cracking femboys. I just can't prove it.
And recruit him to the team, since they're short-handed and team members, basically needing all the help they can get. We get a recap of the episode showing all the events that they talked about, with everybody setting their plans into action. The remaining gang starts to leave as the brothers have one last chat, and then Choso cries his eyes out. We switch to the cinematic scene as we're introduced to a 35-year-old washed-up comedian. He low-key gets shunned off stage, and backstage he gets berated by his boss, who tells him to give up. He's then tweaking out for real as he tries to rationalize what kind of comedian he is, whether he's actually funny or he thinks he's funny. We get his name, Kumohiko Takaba, and the episode ends there.
She's back!
だからね。
JJK episode 4 just dropped and we're getting straight non-stop action. Maki put belt to ass on the entire Zenin clan. This episode is 28 minutes long and is very cinematic with Maki going on a rampage. Just for the sake of YouTube, so I don't get demonetized, Maki is just giving the Zenin clan strawberry milkshakes. You know, a sweet treat for real. That's what all the red liquid is. We're gonna see Maki in all her glory this episode. I'll also mostly spare y'all from the anti-copyright black lines technique from last episode. My mic should also be a bit better this time around. Let's get into it. We start off with this beautiful looking scene as Maki comes into the frame. Maki is walking down a cobblestone trail holding a wrapped item while entering the Zenin clan base. It cuts to Naoya talking to Maki, saying she looks shocked and worse off due to the burns. Maki calls him out on his misogynistic behavior, surprised that he can actually tell women apart, thinking that he only looked at their butts. This grimy ass lowlife puts his foot on the piano, rubbing it all over the keys while trying to insult Maki. I know that foot stinks like unwashed gym clothes. He's really ruining a piano for no good reason. That's probably why his own clan hates him too, bro. And I know some junk smell because this bum had to get his shoes tied for him last episode. I really doubt he takes showers by himself too. Naoya tries to rage bait Maki, asking if he should bully her like he used to before. Grown ass man thinking he's tough for beating on little kids. He should be ashamed of himself if he has any shame. Naoya would fit right in with a group of certain people. Maki doesn't fall for the rage bait and has Naoya looking like an idiot as it then switches to Maki in a large corridor. Maki's mom is telling her to come back since women are allowed in the Zenin clan vault. Maki rebuts, saying that the Zenin clan head allowed her entry. Megumi is actually being useful for once instead of spamming Maharaga? I never thought I would see the day. Wow. Clap it up for Megumi, guys. Let's clap it up for Megumi. The scene rewinds to Maki and Megumi having a chat. Maki informs him that he's the head of the Zenin clan now due to Nabito's passing. He will receive all the clan's assets, its money, and its cursed tools, along with other things like info on the other big 3 clans and info from the Jujutsu higher-ups. Megumi tries to reject it and push the responsibility onto Maki. I really spoke too soon about Megumi being useful, bro. Potential Man is really living up to his name. Bro really has a chance to become the head of the clan and gain so many things basically for free, but is rejecting it to stay a bum. Maki calls him out on his fraudulent behavior, explaining that he has the clan's hereditary special technique, being the 10 shadows, can use a domain, and gets special attention from Gojo, which gives him an insane upper hand against other contestants. Megumi really got everything handed to him. He low-key reminds me of another Nepo baby. Megumi wonders why Maki can't take his place, as she shouldn't care about the Zenin clan's opinion. She says it can't be her yet, as she wouldn't be able to create a safe place for Mai there. Megumi realizes what she means, and then finally accepts. The Zenin clan really be moving like it's the early 1900s. Got no rights, no motion, no autonomy. Maki's mom's voice pierces through the silent corridor as she screams at Maki to get back here. She really out here screaming like she just met prime Michael Jackson. Oh hell nah. She then whispers to herself, wondering why Maki's always like this, and just wants to feel proud for giving birth to Maki for once. Maki continues down the hallway and opens the vault doors, and looks in shock to see her dad in there. We see that the chopped one, Jinichi, and the Nepo baby, Naoya, are having a secret convo. Long story short, other Zenin clan members were planning on getting rid of Megumi, Maki, and Mai by framing them as traitors plotting to release Gojo. Naoya just jumped the gun by trying to get rid of Megumi early, and he failed horribly at it too. Jinichi continues, saying that getting rid of them will boost the Zenin clan's image and grant them more power and trust in Jujutsu society due to the power vacuum left by the Gojo clan. Ogi is the one that came up with this plan and will be the one to get rid of his own daughters. It really seems like the Zenin clan is full of frauds, bro. Straight bums. The only exceptions to that would be OG and soon Maki. The ones with zero curse energy are putting up better numbers compared to the entire clan. Bro. Ogi's posted up with his hand on his sword, posing for the camera. Who is bro feeling like? He tells Maki that he knew they would come for the weapons, but the clan emptied the vault ahead of time. They, you might ask? Yes, I said they. As we see, Mai is laying at the feet of Ogi, holding her wound as she questions why Maki came here. Maki then sheaths this huge item that she's carrying. It's a weapon from Juzo's workshop. This cursed tool was his masterpiece called Dragon Bone. The episode doesn't explain what this cursed tool does, so I'll give you a quick rundown on it since it's important for later fights. Dragon's Bone accumulates force and cursed energy and ejects them out the back of the blade according to the user's will. Think of the weapon being like a rocket that's attached to a blade, but instead of running on fuel, it's powered by cursed energy. Now back to the squabbles. Maki walks her dad down as they exchange a short convo about him not being the next Zenin clan head. Ogi crouches and activates falling blossom emotion as the torch on the ground goes out. They're submerged in darkness as Ogi makes her first strike with Maki blocking it. He counters it, making Dragon Bone accelerate and snaps Ogi's blade in half. He then swerves behind him, once again using Dragon Bone and is going for the finishing blow. Ogi weaves back away from her slice, then makes 2 quick strikes, one going up, then down, as they cut through her bandaged eye and across her stomach. Ogi reveals that he coated the broken part of his blade with cursed energy. He says that Maki fell for the Hesi, thinking he didn't have any other means of attacking. He drags Maki and Mai across the vault's floor as he complains about how trash they are, and how they held him back from being the next clan head. He says that he and Nabito were effectively equals, except for one thing, the quality of their kids, telling them both that kids just shouldn't drag their parents down. He then tosses Maki and Mai into this pit, which is used for punishment and training. It's filled with countless grade 2 and lower level cursed spirits. This whole place is low-key a cursed spirit ditty party. The curses are currently hiding away in fear due to Ogi, but he plans for them to eat Maki and Mai after he leaves. He then roasts Maki, calling her average compared to the rest of his clan, and then leaves his kids to die as Mai crawls over to Maki. She appears to give Maki mouth to mouth as they whisk away to a beachside. I really like this detail of like Mai's sweat or tears or whatever it is, mirroring the scars that Maki has on her face. It really ties in the idea of twins being alike in the JJK world. Speaking of twins, Maki gets jolted awake by the waves crashing on her as Mai is sitting beside her. Mai basically healed Maki's wounds using her curse technique. She's also going to create one more thing for Maki, but it will cause her to die due to the wounds that she got from Ogi. She explains to Maki how twins are seen as one person by Jujutsu standards. It doesn't matter how hard Maki trains, or the struggles she deals with to become strong, since Mai doesn't want to become strong. Mai says as long as she's around, Maki will unlock her true potential. She creates the final thing for Maki and tells her to destroy it all, referencing the destruction of the Zenin clan. With her last breath, using her curse technique, Mai creates a sword for Maki. It's essentially a replica of a sword that Toji used back in Season 2. Mai passes away as Maki is calling out to her, and the cursed spirits come out of hiding. Ogi feels all the cursed spirits' presences disappear as he senses another presence that fills him with fear. It reminds him of Toji, and he activates his technique, getting ready to attack his kids again. Using the tool that Mai made her, Maki speed business the crap out of him, giving him an insane haircut. He didn't like them unk barbers when he asked for a little bit off the top, but they did as cook you could, giving you a bald fade. He walks off as Ogi's body crumples in the background, and she tells Mai, let's get started. From here on out, it's going to be straight squabbles. Maki will be putting hands on everybody. It'll be non-stop action. And just so y'all know, the reason why Maki also just became incredibly strong just now was due to Mai's passing. All that strength that she should have gotten in the past is now being given to her. He's gonna use that strength to obliterate the clan. Let's get to it. But first, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave a like and subscribe. Appreciate it. A massive alarm bell rings out as all the Zen clan members make their way to Maki. All the fodder, the highly specialized Kukuru unit that's trained in martial arts and has no curse technique makes it to Maki first. It consists only of men, and you are forced to join if you had no curse technique. Maki was a part of the unit before joining Jujutsu High. They surround her in this room with colorful floor. They rush towards her as she hits a spin move, slashing 4 of them across the stomach using the 2 blades. She then momentarily combines the 2 blades like she's wielding a dual-bladed lightsaber and starts spinning around the room like a blade slicing up the Kukuru unit. She then kicks this one guy up in the air and strikes him. I'm gonna slow this next part down for y'all just to understand how badly these guys are getting beaten. She walks to the other side of the room and blinds this guy permanently. Hey look! That's what the average JJK fan looks like. They can't read for squat. She then does a cartwheel, removing 2 guys' arms. She does a front flip, making this poor guy's arms non-existent, and using said arms to launch the blade into another guy's neck. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. Fight for the gospel, we honor his name. She continues to slice and dice for a moment, as a big guy with scars on his face comes up swinging a staff around. Okay. This might be their moment to shine. There's always that one guy in the group of goons who's like a mini boss. You all know what I'm talking about for real. Yeah, that one guy. He walks up and gets one shot by Maki. Welp, that didn't last very long. Maki continues her annihilation by doing a no-look 200 pump to these guys behind her and continues to glide across the room. She deflects an oncoming strike and counters by giving him back shots, with the guy's blade flying through the air and hitting another guy in the head. The scene changes colors as Maki lays waste to the whole room of guys. He has them flying back across the room, some of them losing their minds, and this one guy gets done dirty so bad. He swings at Maki from the side and she dodges, giving him the side eye of doom. She snaps his blade and then gives him a 50% off discount. Another dude thought he was Naruto. Bro was throwing kunai her way, but she catches them and tosses them back at him. He proceeds to hand deliver Dragon Bone right into this guy's skull like this is Papa John's or something. Using its ability, it then spins around the room like a blade, getting a 10-limb kill streak. It continues to rack up more limbs as Maki proceeds to aura farm, with these guys walking up to her for free XP. A group of the Kukuru unit tries to hit her with the King Arthur. He bounces off the blades, heading towards the top ropes. Look at this guy's face, he knows he's cooked.
Damn.
He really about to rock my shit.
Maki gives us a view of her painting skills as the paper walls are hit with splotches of art. She's really doing all this with jolly music going on in the background too. She jumps back down and slides across the floor, moving like Sonic, wiping out a whole group of guys. She continues to slide on the strawberry milkshakes on the floor, just to make that clear, you know. They're all enjoying this sweet treat that Maki has graciously given them. I can't take this serious, bro. Yeah, they're all just enjoying this sweet treat that Maki is graciously giving them. Also, this sequence kind of reminds me of how Gojo is moving against those transfigured humans back in Shibuya. She continues to slide as one grunt swings at her, but she dodges into a black flip. She notices that he was in immense pain due to his feet, but being a good Samaritan, she relieves him of his foot pain, doing to him what Levi did to Zeke. She glides across this red river like an ice skater and gets in front of this one guy, giving him the 1-inch punch. He's probably the luckiest one here so far, because what she does next is truly baffling. She rushes into the remaining group of Kukuru members, giving them the 50% off discount. You have no hands, you have no legs, you have no hands, neck meat gone, so on and so forth. At some point she retrieves Dragon Bone. She then hits the spin jitsu Barracuda Blade finishing move, with all of them collapsing at once, leaking from all the joy that Maki gave them with this milkshake parade. She then tosses Dragon Bone at a guy off screen as the colors switch back to reality. The captain of the Kukuru unit, Nobuaki Zenin, comes in to check on the guy's progress of getting rid of Maki. He's in shock to see that Maki got rid of everyone, as the final member of the Kukuru unit falls down for dramatic effect. Now, I didn't count how many people she eliminated, but that has to be at least 80 plus bodies. The JJK wiki says that there's only 21 members in the unit, but on one frame alone, I count more than 15 people. Even in the opening, there's at least 50 people there. The anime really boosted up the numbers to give Maki more aura. As the captain stands in shock, an old guy spawns in and uses curse technique, spawning in giant stone hands just like Inoki from Naruto. The stone hands slam through the building's roof, lifting Maki with it. Maki is bathing in the pool of strawberry milkshakes, looking like Pennywise's hibernation scene in Welcome to Derry. As the giant stone hands slam shut on her, we learn that the old guy's name is Chojuro as the rest of the Hei appear. The Hei is the strongest group in the Zenin clan and is equal to grade 1 sorcerers in strength. It consists of Jinichi, Ranta, and Chojuro. Quick side tangent though. What's throwing me off right now is how they're all standing on the side of Chojuro's curse technique. They aren't ninjas from Naruto who can chakra rock, so they should all be falling down right now, but I digress. Maki escapes the stone hands and nearly takes out Nobuaki with one hit, but he deflects at the last second. It doesn't matter though, as Maki clashes with him for a moment. His blade breaks, then she steals his throat as his blade flies back into his head. Chojuro does a flying kick towards Maki and gets one-shotted, with his throat getting snatched too. Ranta hits her with his all-seeing eye, which holds her in place temporarily. It functions similarly to how Inamaki's curse technique works if he told you don't move. Maki powers through his technique, causing him to bleed. Ranta tells Nichi to finish her as they're only allowed to live due to Toji's whims, and compares her to Toji. So even members of the Zenin clan knew that they were frauds. Big 3 clan my butt, bruh. Jinichi is aura farming while Ranta is fighting for his life, and then hits her with that United States of Smashu. His technique is raining down like it's a Gatling gun. Ranta thinks that they got rid of Maki, thanking Jinichi before passing away. But the smoke clears and we see that Jinichi got packed up by Maki. He tosses his head into the river before the final event. The head of the Hei, Naoya's lame shows up, seeing all the carnage, and wonders if Maki has no heart. Maki gives his fire-ass reply, saying that Mai took it with her. Naoya, like the rest of the Zenin clan, continues to indirectly lob aura to Maki, trying to discredit the fact that she's like Toji. It then cuts to the two of them throwing hands like it's a DBZ battle, but Naoya grabs her and freezes her. He hits her with a devious plunge that blasts her through a walk wall and continues to pummel her with his technique. However, if we learned anything from last time, Naoya really got those pillow hands. Those punches aren't doing any damage to Maki. He's swinging Maki around through cliffs as she is just locked in trying to analyze his technique. He then freezes her again and continues to throw rapid punches. Maki gets launched away from him and is sliding on the ground. Moving so fast, it looks like she's stuck in place. He then grinds to a halt, assuming a wide stance, and gets ready for his next attack. Naoya plans to punch a hole through her body by going at max speed as he lightly taps her, making her have to obey the rules of his technique. Move 24 frames a second, or fail and get frozen for 1 second. He forms a giant loop to build up speed while mentally calling Maki an imposter. He's about to slam through Maki, but then she spins around and got this bum in absolute shock. The world seems to freeze for a moment as she exposes the requirements of projection sorcery to Naoya. She finally realizes this due to her newfound power and then blasts Naoya's sorry ass into the ground with an earth-shattering punch. It was so devastating that they had to show it 3 times in a row and in X-ray mode. She punched him so hard that half of his skull was shattered. Now that's what I call a punch, not that baby food that Naoya was throwing earlier. Maki then returns to Zenin clan headquarters in search of her mom, while eliminating any other remaining clan members. She finds her mom and puts her out of her misery. However, she's still clinging to life. Naoya was also still alive, but with the remaining strength that Maki's mom had, she stabbed him in the back. It's so big to see! Naoya really got what he deserved. He really talked about stabbing women in the back in the first episode, and then the same thing happens to him. Finally, she's glad to have given birth to Maki and Mai, as both she and Naoya pass away. Maki takes her sister's body to Momo. As we see it over the next few days, Maki hunts down the rest of the Zenin clan members who were absent that day. With the Zenin clan almost being taken out of the big 3, per the request of the Gojo and Combo clans. The episode ends off with Maki leaving the same way that she came in. The only difference is that she is now leaving with the Zenin clan dead and with a new weapon. Now that's Aura.
Yo, that's my girl. I never knew she could move like that for real. Remind me to never get her bad side. Not a lot went down in episode 5, so I'm just gonna give a short summary on it for real. I'll do it in about 4 minutes or less. It'll be a challenge between the 2 of us. If I do it under 4 minutes, y'all gotta like and subscribe. If I fail, I'll personally do someone's video request with whoever's comment gets the most amount of likes in 1 week from now. As per usual, I'll have the black lines up to avoid copyright, removing them now and again. Now let's get to it. The episode starts off with Yaga being held in a cell while Gakuganji interrogates him on how to make cursed corpses like Panda. He says that Yaga could be considered for a special grade sorcerer since he could command an army of cursed corpses. Yaga ain't standing a peep though, and is denying knowing how to make them. It cuts to a flashback of Yaga saying his farewells to the cursed corpses in the forest, then shows the goat himself, that's Satoru Gojo of course, Kusakabe, freeing Panda from his shackles. Kusakabe released Panda due to him owing a favor to Yaga, which is letting him and his sister momentarily see his dead nephew again in the form of her cursed corpse. Yaga is being pressed by this wannabe Kakashi who's trying to pry the info out of Yaga on how to make cursed corpses. Yaga thinks he's really bold for trying to fight him solo, but Yaga forgot that this is JUJUTSU Kaisen, as you see that Gakuganji pulled up with his guitar, making this sick instrumental. Yaga gets lined out and then starts spilling the beans faster than 6ix9ine on how to make cursed corpses. He tells Gakuganji that it's a curse that he's now transferring to him as Panda comes on the scene and cries his eyes out. Fast forwarding a few days, we see Yuji and Megumi walking to Hakari's location to recruit him as they planned in episode 3. Tengen gives them a rundown about Hakari. He's running an illegal fight club for non-sorcerers, aka humans, using Jujutsu sorcerers as a spectacle. Megumi and Yuji got this Sasuke and Naruto vibe going on, since they changed fits to avoid being detected by him for being associated with Jujutsu High. Megumi gets his gangster tested as they make their way to the fight club. They get accepted in as Yuji will be going to fight for them. The 2 of them head back, planning on recruiting Hakari quickly since it took them 2 days to get here. If they can't, they'll just dip since Megumi's sister is running out of time to join the Culling games. Itadori heads back to the club later that night and plans on putting on a show to get Hakari's good side. Bro smiles the biggest smile ever since Shibuya, thinking that his opponent is Panda. The creator of JJK, Gege Akutami, makes a small cameo as Yuji and Panda have this insane fake battle. It's got more frames than the entirety of One Punch Man Season 3. Panda gives Yuji the rundown on everything happening here, as the 2 of them have this WWE fight, and Yuji gets the finishing blow ending the match. Hakari calls for Yuji to come upstairs to start in scripted fights. We see Megumi hiding in the shadows trying to aura farm, with the glorious GOAT Hakari finally being on the big screen hitting those voice lines I did in my Hakari video.
Megumi, you are a bum. Why are you aura farming instead of being a good sorcerer? You never do this again in the show. You are truly a potential man.
Panda and Megumi have a side convo outside talking about their plans going forward and Kirara's curse technique. Yuji is hitting whatever the heck this is. Kirara takes Yuji up to see Hakari as they have this 2-minute convo in this tight room with the camera on them the entire time. Hakari is giving a speech on how he wants to rule society through gambling, but his phone starts ringing. He pours Yuji a drink and then tells him that Gojo can't hold his liquor. Yuji asks this ridiculous line saying, "Kusatro Gojo." Yuji then gets into this broken household of 4 family abuse beating combo with Hakari's fever going cold. And time. Ayy, with a few seconds to spare too. Well, if a deal's a deal, y'all gotta leave a like on the video and subscribe. Appreciate Pachacho, it helps me out a lot. Alright, now let's get to the real main event that y'all are waiting for. Episode 6 starts before Hakari and Yuji's conversation. Megumi, taking after bush camper Yuta, takes down 2 guards in the parking lot within the shadows. Why is Mappa trying to give Megumi aura?
He's just standing there, menacingly.
Yes we, know bro is washed. Pan does the same thing on the other side of the building as the 2 of them make it up to the rooftop where Hakari and Yuji are talking. They're going to guard the door to make sure that no one interferes, but they run into Kirara. Now, I'm going to say this once before y'all come for my throat in the comments. Kirara's gender is up in the air as Gege has left it ambiguous. They're biologically a boy before the series started. Some say that they're a femboy at this point, and some say otherwise. Personally, I'm just gonna stay between saying bro, Kirara's name, or saying the word they. Kirara immediately sends a signal to Hakari letting know that the ops are here. Megumi summons Divine Dog to attack Kirara while Panda jumps down. Divine Dog gets repelled back to Megumi as Panda tries to chase Kirara down but can't get close. Where you go, I go. What you see, I see. You know I'll never be me until eternity. Panda just wants Kirara to listen to the request for Hakari's help. Megumi jumps down in front of the door as the 3 of them are essentially in a stalemate since they can't approach each other. He tells Kirara that they're not ops and they just want help, as the bears that have come down are a Jujutsu terror attack. Kirara says that Jujutsu Society shouldn't have kicked them out then, with Panda chiming in. Panda mentions that Kirara and Hakari fought with the Jujutsu higher-ups. It basically boils down to the elderly sorcerers being stuck in their ways, trying to keep things the same, as they hate how technology has taken over and has also been mixed into curse techniques. Kirara stands in shock when Megumi tells them that they need their help as Gojo has been sealed. Kirara clearly doesn't believe it since everyone thinks that Gojo is too strong to lose, as Panda and Megumi come to the same conclusion. Megumi uses Rabbit Escape to summon a bunch of rabbits that storm the parking lot roof. Just like Divine Dog, the rabbits are propelled back to him like a magnet, but he releases them as he uses the shadows to rise up to the upper level. He tries to gauge what the rabbits could and couldn't touch and then asks Panda if he has a star symbol and name on his body. Panda has the word Amai on his body. Megumi is flexing for the fans, finding a similar symbol on himself but with a different name, a crux. The star symbol and the crux name are on his Shikigami too. He exposes the groundwork for the technique as it is based on the Southern Cross constellation. Kirara's facial expression gives it away too, as Megumi is dumbfounded that he got it right. Panda makes his way back up to Megumi as the 2 of them debate on how Kirara's curse technique works. They figure out that it's basically like a set path with a gate at each location. You have to reach a certain star and touch it to access another star, or else Kirara would have just run inside to the room where Hakari and Yuji are. Kirara is standing out there to make sure that they can't get through. So far, they know the locations of 4 stars. One on Megumi, another on Panda, another on Kirara, and lastly, one more star symbol on the door. They figure out there's at least 5 stars involved with the technique. Panda hits us with this accursed line. What are there, 6 or 7?
I'm gonna do it again. 6, 7! 6, 6, 7! 6, 7!
6, 7! It has his 6, 7!
6, 7!
It has
6, 7! God. Get out of here. If I lose my shit.
Referencing how many stars there could be on the Southern Cross. Kirara realizes they figured out the curse technique as Bro proceeds to curb stomp this car as Mario would to a Goomba, sending it flying as it latches onto Panda since it has the same star name as him. Panda tries to toss it off himself, but it flies back, launching him into the air. As this happens, Megumi finds the 5th star and runs towards it. Kirara remarks a coin and tosses it, using the momentum to move faster. Almost reminds me of another guy that uses his technique to move fast. But I digress. Megumi throws a rabbit at Panda, who throws it back at the final star symbol, Mimosa, which now lets Megumi move towards the other stars. However, Kirara gets there first and blocks Megumi's path. Kirara claws out Megumi's last assumption, thinking that they couldn't throw more things at Megumi. Saying it was a bluff, Kirara gives himself the same star as Megumi. This sends the car flying towards him, but at the same time, the Divine Dog pops out and rushes towards Kirara. Megumi showing off his battle IQ as Kirara realizes that he had Divine Dog wedged between a wall and was waiting for this moment to pull it back. Kirara releases the technique and gets pinned by Megumi, with the car exploding in the background. I'm telling y'all, stop giving this man aura. Them stocks are going to crash. I'm literally giving you all insider trading info. I also want to talk about Kirara real quickly. Light manga spoilers ahead, so for those who don't want to hear, skip to this timestamp. Alright, with the anime only skipping ahead, I generally think Kirara was a wasted character. It's been a while since I read the manga in full. I generally don't remember Kirara being useful or doing anything past this arc for the rest of the series. Even with Hakari, he was essentially off screen for the remainder of the series, and even he did significantly more. Kirara had such an interesting curse technique, and it would have been really cool to see in tandem with someone like Toto's curse technique. Imagine getting teleported back and forth, and you can't approach either enemy while also getting your ass beat. You could also sub out Boogie Woogie, or a technique like Mei Mei's Bird Strike, and get a similar effect. What a shame for real, what a shame. If someone does find something about Kirara, let me know, but put a spoiler warning in the comments. Alright, back to the action. While still holding Kirara down, Megumi explains how he was able to suss out Kirara's technique and use it to his advantage to win. He lets Kirara go and then begs Kirara to listen to them. Kirara finally gives the Jujutsu students a chance to explain their reasoning for coming here, but the monitor room door gets blown off and flies past them. We see Itadori spread out on the floor looking like Yamcha as he tells them not to interfere. Megumi got out of there quick! He knows he ain't built for that, and Kirara falls behind him. The stage is now set for Yuji vs Hakari, if you can even call it that, as the flames from the car illuminate the night sky. Hakari keeps punching Yuji, and Yuji gets up each time. Hakari asks why they came to him, and Yuji says that the upperclassmen called him strong. He looks off in annoyance, and tells Yuji that when sorcerers ask each other for help, it's like saying, "Are you willing to lose your life for my sake?" He wants Yuji to show him that fever before he decides to do that. He says it's punk behavior to go out on someone else's orders on a task so serious. Yuji claims that he's a cog and that he'll continue to be a cog sorcerer exercising curses. Hakari is deeply unsatisfied with his answer and throws a mean right hook that launches Yuji towards the roof's wall. He mentions that his curse energy hurts really badly since it's jagged. He turns around, telling Panda and Megumi to get Yuji and leave, but he doesn't sense Yuji sneak up behind him. Hakari jumps back in fear as Yuji explains his purpose as a cog, and says that he'll do everything to stick to Hakari until he joins the team. Hakari sees the heat, aka fever, in Yuji's eyes, but goes to punch him again. However, Kirara stops him and can tell that Hakari's gotten worked up over Yuji's fever. He agrees to help Yuji, Megumi, and Panda, as Kirara explains that they hated the Jujutsu higher-ups, but Hakari had the most fever when helping students out from Jujutsu High. It cuts to Kogane announcing a new rule that's been added to the games. Rule number 9. Players may view other players' info. This means it shows their name, their points, the number of rules they've had added, and which colony bear that they're in. This rule gets added since it affects rules number 6 and number 7 of the culling games, which are rule number 6, excluding the point value of players' own life. Players may expend 100 points to negotiate with the game master to add one new rule to the culling games. Rule number 7, in accordance to the previous rule, the game master must accept any new proposed rule unless it has a marked and long-lasting effect on the culling game. We see the person that added the rule, a guy with blue hair, a white outfit, bandages around his wrists and legs, and holding a red staff, who appears to be a reincarnated sorcerer. He wonders where his Sukuna is and wants to meet him, most likely to fight. We get introduced to the waffle fanboy farmer himself, Hajime Kashimo. That's where the episode ends, and I can't wait to see what they got cooking up for next week. It seems like they'll officially start playing in the culling games based on the next episode preview. We went on break week a few weeks ago, and people were low-currently losing their minds. Lobotomy Kaisen and the JJK LARPers were going wild. Crunchyroll also dropped a recap episode for all those JJK fans that can't read. This covered episodes 1 through 7 with additional scenes. I'm going to quickly cover over the main points and then get into the new episodes. Also, I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize in advance if I don't sound that great.
Sup, nigga?
Alright, starting with a quick recap. Gojo was sealed because he was too powerful. It's crazy for real how they did him. We, yes we, can't be stopped. Kenjaku started the culling games, which revived many reincarnated sorcerers and awakened the abilities of current day sorcerers. He also released 1,000,000 cursed spirits after the events of Shibuya. Yuji and Choso hunt down these cursed spirits as Naoya comes to slime out Megumi using Yuji as bait. Naoya puts Choso in a blender, and the zesty Rika merchant Yuta comes to eliminate Yuji since he's also Yuji's executioner. Choso almost puts Naoya on a t-shirt, but Yuta steals his limelight after sliming out Yuji. Yuji gets rezzed by Yuta because he was also putting on an axe. Megumi comes out the shadows to give Yuji a pep talk. He also asks for Yuji's help since his sister is now part of the Culling Games. They then flashbang us with the Culling Game rules. I am not explaining these rules again. I've done it 4 times already. This is all you're getting.
Read, nigga, read!
Check out my other videos and my shorts page to see the full breakdown of the rules. Yuta, Choso, Megumi, and Yuji go to meet up with the rest of the gang, and Yuki's fine. I miss you, Yuki. I miss you. They then go to see Tengen using Choso's ability to sense his brothers. They meet up with Tengen, who goes over the Culling Game rules in extreme detail, and then also explains Kenjaku's evil plan of merging all Japan into her using idol transfiguration through cursed spirit manipulation. They then come up with a plan to unseal Gojo from the back of the prison realm by finding a Culling Games player called Angel who can extinguish curse techniques. As for their game plan, Yuki and Choso will stay behind to guard Tengen while the rest of them go their separate ways before participating in the Culling Games. Alright, I'm going to speed through the next section because I'm low-key dragging this recap a bit. I know you're all here for the big nose goat Higuruma.
Get that yam off your face, nigga. Big yam face.
Why are you yelling, bro? What the fuck are you yelling for, man?
Yaga gets slung up by Kakuganji, and Maki puts her entire clan on a t-shirt. He really breathed the brakes off the Hay and the Kukuru unit. Naoya got the worst of it. Completely deserved though, completely deserved. That bum. Alright, Potential Man and Yuji go to recruit Hakari. They enter his fight club as Yuji fights Panda and gets more details about the place. Later on, Megumi and Panda fight Kirara as Yuji talks to Hakari, trying to get him on their side. They finally recruit him as they let Kirara and Hakari know that Gojo has been sealed. They plan on hunting down 2 sorcerers with 100 points to make a new rule. These sorcerers are Higuruma and Kashimo. At the same time, a new rule gets added into the games, none other than by Kashimo himself, and it shows other players' info. People have been complaining about that panel of Kashimo for ages, and now they finally get it. And JJK fans gotta be the most spoiled people for real. But I digress. The crew then enters the Culling Games, and that's where the recap basically ends. It does cover episode 7, but I'm just gonna speed through that too. Alright, let's run a quick recap of episode 7. The scene starts off with Jaku. I mean, the sweet savior and loving mother figure, Kenjaku, helping out one of Yuji's friends from season 1, episode 1. He leads her out of the Culling Games barrier along with a bunch of other civilians. I already explained the part about Yuji's group hunting down the 2 sorcerers, so I'll skip over that. But just so you know, Kirara gets benched for surveillance reasons, Hakari is going after Kashimo, Panda is looking for the sorcerer Angel, and Yuji and Megumi hunt down Higuruma. Alright, let's get into the action now. But before that, leave a like on the video if you're enjoying so far, and subscribe too if you rock with the content. Okay, back where we left off, the squad enters the Culling Games as Megumi and Yuji enter Colony 1. They both get teleported as Yuji gets launched into the sky and is out here gliding like he just jumped out of the Fortnite battle bus. This is a part of an undisclosed rule that wasn't mentioned. Yuji was teleported to a random colony and is targeted by newbie hunters. One of them was a lady whose hair can turn into a jet due to her curse technique. She flies in and slams into Yuji, knocking him through a building. He lands in another building and knocks her out of the sky with one hit using a steel pipe. Her man shows up right afterwards as it cut to Megumi, leading up to the Zenin clan name. He's got this random girl on the ground after he gave her that pimp named Slipback treatment. He asks where Higuruma is, and she gives a sly reply before we see Yuji dragging the hell out of this guy that he's fighting across the building. The man also has hair that can transform into helicopter blades. The two of them are in this tight space as the guy activates his blades, but Yuji slides between them. The wind pressure blows him out of the building, and he hops across other rooftops while Helicopter Head chases him. The guy finally catches up, and they start boxing in the air until Yuji gives him a rude kick to the jaw. Yuji runs back indoors, so it's harder for the helicopter dude to fight him. The guy comes flying in, but Yuji genuinely one-taps the fraud by punching him in the head. He finishes the guy off, pause, with a swift kick to the crown jewels. Switching back to Megumi, the girl he just attacked is having a yap fest, but Megumi ain't going for that and he's trying to get more information on Higuruma. She says that he'll lead him there. It parallels with another guy approaching Yuji, also saying he knows where Higuruma is. We get a bit of insight with how the players are behaving within the colonies, and it's generally a dog-eat-dog world. The reincarnated sorcerers are forcing the awakened sorcerers to fight just so they can survive. The guy leading Yuji, Ren Amanai, and the girl leading Megumi, Remy, both give different answers on where Higuruma is, and the episode ends there. Now the next episodes are already out, but even before that, you can obviously tell who's lying here. Like, Remy is bad as hell, but you can most definitely see that she's lying. Look at that face, dog, straight evil intentions. Like the group Belle Beef DeVoe said, Never trust a big butt and a smile, that girl is poison. Poison! Kinda fitting for her, to be honest. If you know, you know. The episode made it even clearer through its imagery with the green and red fits, as well as Remi's face being hidden by the pole, while Rin seems to be more out in the open. Kicking off episode 8, we start with Higuruma's backstory. He's a lawyer that takes impossible cases for the weak. In Japan, their conviction rate is 99.9%, so them boys are always gonna get the guilty sentence. Higuruma is interviewing a guy who's suspected for murdering a mom and her child, but he claims to be innocent. He said that he ran from police since he knew that his cat might pass away if they took him in, so he ran off. When they all made it to his apartment, the knife that was used in the crime was inside of his house. Blood said he was really going to turn it in later, like it was a late homework assignment. Bro, I'm crying. Apparently, due to this guy's workplace, which cares for the elderly, he couldn't call the police either. His name is Oe, and he's working a dead-end job with little pay and is getting that Naruto treatment. While Higuruma is looking for more details for the case, his co-worker, whom I'll call Nobara 2.0, is meeting with his old co-worker. The old co-worker said that Higuruma has always been like this, and his mindset for solving cases used to be worse, as he was trying to solve a drunk driving case. However, the guy he was defending didn't have all the things that he needed, so low-key got him 10 to life. The way he was looking at Higuruma would have made you think that he was getting hit with a Danganronpa level punishment. Got spit all over the screen and everything too. The old co-worker scolded Higuruma for giving this guy the wrong idea, and she also tells him to stop taking on these impossible cases. Higuruma wants to do it since these people are on their last leg, and she wonders how this affects his mental health though, as we see that bro is tired and stressed out working on the recent case with Nobara 2.0. We get this legendary GIF reaction from Higuruma after Oe is found innocent in this trial. He does it since the trial will get appealed ASAP. It's got the whole city looking at Higuruma crazy and spreading wild rumors, but it's also got people taking fire fit pics of him, with him aura farming on the train. Higuruma and Nobara 2.0 meet up with Oe before the trial as they found more evidence clearing him, although it's not over yet. Oe doesn't mind and thanks Higuruma for believing him even though the odds were stacked against him. The second trial comes around and Oe gets hit with that guilty life sentence. Damn, bro did not catch a break.
What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
The judges really said F it the second time around because they need someone to blame and no new evidence came up to clear him. Higuruma recognizes the absurdity of it all 2 seconds before looking up and getting hit with this insane death stare of peril, doom, and despair from Oe. Dog, if I ever saw that expression, I'd be gone for real. He probably put 27 curses on Higuruma's entire family lineage in that moment. Going back to the combo with his previous co-worker, Higuruma says that his mental state isn't something to be worried about. He says he helps the weak because he feels like it's something he can't ignore. People like the judges turn a blind eye and are bystanders when people suffer. Higuruma doesn't rock with that and wants to keep his eyes open. And yeah. He crashes out, banging this gavel he has, and pops his ult while telling everyone to come back here for a retrial.
Everyone come back. It's time to feast.
Long story short, the justice system fails, and Higuruma takes matters into his own hands. Restating what was said in last episode, Rin and Remy have different locations where Higuruma is. It wasn't obviously clear last time that Remy was lying. This receipt collector literally says, "When's that girl going to bring me that next sucker?" We then get some Rin/Yuji backstory, with Rin being a bystander while someone is getting bullied. Low-key the kind of bystander that Higuruma hates. Yuji then slides on through and puts hands on all those bullies, wiping them out in a few moves. Now that's how you aura farm, not that weak stuff that Megumi was doing in season 1. Rin and Yuji make it to the theater, which Higuruma is using as a base. Rin continues to be a bystander as he leads Yuji to his supposed doom. Yuji enters the building while Megumi gets catfished by the receipt sorcerer named Reggie. Megumi gives Remy the stink eye of doom and then starts looking at his pops for a moment, but we all know he ain't doing jack. She even says the same. She is not scared of this bum. Potential man not even worth the potential husband's time. Absolutely insane. See if the goat Naoya. Ew. I can't even pretend to call Naoya the goat for a second, dog. The Zenin clan is full of frauds, huh? But if it were Naoya in this situation, he would be putting BTA on Remy the second she opened her mouth to say some BS. Would have been swinging her around the streets just like he did Maki through those mountains. Megumi summons Divine Dog and gets ready to scrap just as Yuji enters the theater. Yuji walks up and sees the big-nosed lord himself, Higuruma, chilling in a bathtub with his clothes on. Yuji is trying to chat with Higuruma about letting him use his points to create a new rule, but Higuruma is low-key trolling him, saying that he's doing things that he never thought he would do, and he's also pretending to be evil. Look at my lawyer, dog. I'm going to jail. Reggie is a reincarnated sorcerer and is giving lordom to Megumi about the true purpose of the calling games. He claims that once all the strong people are left from each colony, Kenjaku will drop a huge bomb, showing the true purpose of the calling game. Yuji plans to fight his way through Higuruma to get the 100 points, but then Higuruma hops out the bathtub and instantly pops off his domain expansion. And this domain is so beautiful, guys, so beautiful, so beautiful. Yuji tries to rush him before it's activated, but gets stopped at the last second. Higuruma's domain is non-lethal and doesn't allow violence. His domain, Deadly Sentencing, is a courtroom setting, and Higuruma explains the rules to Yuji. The giant Shikigami behind him, Judge Man, accuses Yuji of the crime entering a pachinko parlor in 2017 while being underage. Higuruma lets him know that he can stay silent, confess, or deny the claim, and that he'll render a verdict based on the evidence the domain receives. Yuji debates the 3 options he has and chooses option 2. He confesses that he entered the parlor, but only to use the bathroom. However, Higuruma conceals the evidence and catches Yuji in 4K.
This is the most HD shit ever! This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K?
It shows Yuji going to the money vendor to get cash. Judgment deems Yuji guilty, along with the condition of confiscation, and as soon as the domain ends, Higuruma rushes towards Yuji. He expands his gavel and swings at Yuji, sending him flying across the room. Yuji then realizes that he can't control his cursed energy due to the confiscation sentence from Higuruma's domain. Getting more of Higuruma's backstory, he was basically a prodigy and flew through law school. This translated very well to his skills as a sorcerer because in the 12 days of participating in the games, he's now equal to or greater in level than a grade 1 sorcerer. We can clearly see this in his skills of beating up Yuji in this beautiful sequence of 4K Ultra HD animation. They throw in straight hands for real, but Higuruma is overpowering Yuji and has him on the defensive. They toss his gavel back and forth like a frisbee. Teleporting it back to him, he enlarges his gavel once again and has Yuji fly back from the hit. He continues to beat the brakes off of Yuji while Bro is trying to dodge for his life, hitting insane Sonic sways. He kicks Yuji into a chair and Yuji uses it for cover, with Higuruma breaking right through it. He swings again at Yuji, knocking away the chair, and Yuji uses the opportunity to slide it in between the lawyer's legs. Higuruma extends his gavel's length while Yuji is doing this weird crab walk to escape. Evil Saw Goodman slams the gavel down and then starts slinging it around like a whip as Yuji crawls up to the theater's catwalk. Higuruma then holds down X on his controller and starts spamming his gavel, throwing it like shuriken. Yuji is hitting a mad dash trying to avoid all the gavel strikes too. He hides within the smoke as Higuruma explains that confiscation makes it temporarily impossible to use a curse technique, but since Yuji doesn't have one, it took away his ability to use cursed energy. He glazes Yuji while thinking to himself, since no one should be able to fight and tank hits like Yuji has so far, especially after losing his ability to weaponize cursed energy. This kind of glaze is almost Gojo level to be honest, and after seeing that modular ending, it's low-key deserved. If you know, you know. Meanwhile, Yuji is taking after bush camper Yuta and is sneaking around hiding in the shadows. The lawyer spots where Yuji is and drags the catwalk down by extending his gavel. Yuji lands on stage and then punches the bathtub towards the lawyer. Higuruma is really doing a whole bunch of antics with that gavel, cause what do you mean he's now using it as a pole launcher on top of everything else? He uses the water as a smokescreen and then brings an enlarged gavel down on Yuji. He's about to crush Yuji, but our Go MC demands a retrial. Buzzer beater at request. They teleport back to the domain as Judge Man accuses Yuji of the events of Shibuya that Sukuna caused. Yuji gives a somberest look and admits he's guilty of the crime. This got Higuruma in shock while Judge Man crashes out and gives Yuji the death penalty. They get teleported out of the domain and Higuruma's gavel transforms into a sword. It's called the Executioner's Sword and it's a one-hit kill weapon. Higuruma goes on a depressive rant calling people corrupt and weak, but then Yuji jumps over him and creates a smokescreen using the chairs. The lawyer strikes at Yuji's empty jacket and Yuji pulls up behind him. Higuruma wonders why Yuji said he was guilty, because he knows that it was Sukuna did all that damage. All the evidence from his domain is shared with him before he even opens the envelope, and it makes him regret his actions thus far. They're about to clash with Higuruma about to kill Yuji, but Higuruma dispels his Executioner's Sword, letting Yuji get a clean punch off on him. It sends him flying backwards through the theater, and he lets Yuji know that he wasn't at fault for the events of Shibuya. Yuji asks why Higuruma didn't eliminate him, and Higuruma says that he returned to his roots. He realized people still feel weak, just like Yuji has, and they still need help from people like him. They walk back up to the theater stage, and Higuruma asks if Yuji has taken a life by his own choice. Yuji says he has, probably referencing the cursed rooms that he took out in season 1 with Nobara, with Higuruma replying, "It felt terrible, didn't it?" He then adds a rule that allows players to transfer points between each other. He grants Yuji one of his points and dips out. He admits that the other 2 points were from the judge and prosecutor that he eliminated before coming to the colony, saying that once the games are over, he'll turn himself in. Yuji asks him to join their team, but Higuruma declines. He doesn't want to stick around Yuji and the group because he'll just feel more guilty, leaving the episode to end there. Attention, attention, attention. All personnel to the battle positions. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Attention, attention, attention. All personnel to the battle stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Attention, attention. All personnel to the battle stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Attention, attention, attention. All personnel.
No way he's walking like this in the dark. Come on, man.
I repeat, this is not a drill. Attention, attention, attention. He is reaching his potential.
Oh,
This
it's
is
you.
not a drill.
What in the world is happening?
Prepared.
Sir, it's bad. It's happening. What is? It's him. He's living up to his potential. You're joking, right? Come on, tell me you're lying. Sir, you can't be serious. Look around. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it would be this bad. What has the news said thus far? Pull it up. Pulling it up right now.
There have been small whispers of slander here and there, but it's been mostly radio silence. Shouldn't we just let them have this moment?
We cannot allow this to happen. Do you know how much I sacrifice? Megumi stocks cannot be allowed to rise up. And what should we do, sir? I'm using the nuclear option. I don't know what the rest of them are doing, but I will not allow this to go any further. But sir, but nothing! I'm taking matters into my own hands. The world will understand. The fans. Sir, they can't read. They'll say it's an asshole. Or something worse. That's something I'm willing to live with. How much time do we have left? Considering the time that we're in and how long it takes to enact, I'd say about 8 months. Now work with me. We're cranking the slender up to 11. Pull up projects number 212 and number 213. We're starting it. The golden age of slander. The ripening.
We got to address the elephant in the room, and that's Megumi starting to live up to his potential. This might be the only time I glaze him, bro, so enjoy this while it lasts. We start from the last episode with Reggie Star explaining that he's recruiting strong sorcerers to join him before Kenjaku drops the bomb onto the Culling Games. Megumi keeps that Remy isn't strong at all and claims that once Reggie is done using her, he'll eliminate her. Reggie claims she's bait for gullible people, and after a long-ass pause, he says he will eliminate her for her points. Remy's out here yapping that Reggie's her knight and they will protect her as long as she serves him. Yeah, right, yeah. Megumi asks if they have 100 points combined between all of them and lets them know that a new rule will be added soon. Right after, this random comes out of the room rushing towards Megumi, hitting a fencing stance while trying to slime him with his claw hands. Megumi disappears and reappears from the shadows, pulling this guy up in a WWE lock and then yeets him out the building, sending Naoya after him. Divine Dog rushes Reggie but gets stabbed in the mouth. Reggie tells Megumi to lock in or else he'll get cooked. An eyeball then falls from the side of the building and it's got this Demon Slayer level explosion. The eyeball came from this bomb boy, Iori Hazunoki. Remy tries to sneak Megumi through the smoke using her hair, and he then gets splashed with gasoline and gets 3 teeth bombs straight to the face. He escapes into a room just like Reggie did, and this bum, Remy, is still trying to attack him even after he went out of his way to protect her. Remy crashes out, saying that Megumi should protect her and say that he likes her. Megumi is not going like that and tells her to get the frick on somewhere, saying he hates trash people like that who are all words and take no action. See guys, this is why you never mess with them toxic gals.
They crazy for real and will backdoor you ASAP. Like I said in my last video, that girl is poison. Poison. The guy that Megumi threw off the building comes back after scaling the side. His name is Hari, but I have a sneaking suspicion that won't matter for much longer. Kogane then pops up and declares the addition of the new rule that Yuji got Higuruma to add in the last episode. Megumi wastes no time upon hearing this and immediately tries to sneak Hari as he takes the fight to this random kid's bedroom. The voices. Okay. Hari and Megumi are boxing for real as Hari kicks him onto the bunk bed. Megumi hits the classic little brother move, kicking his legs at him. He then is away from the bed using his frog shikigami. Megumi spawns in another one and uses it to put his balls in Hari's jaws. He puts him on a headlock and then uses the frogs to suspend them in air as he chokes Hari out. Hari swipes at Megumi, which forces him to let go, but he summons Max Elephant. Hari gets a face full of elephant cheeks and it blasts him out of the room. Megumi hops down onto him and starts playing whack-a-mole on Hari's face with his sword as they fall. He then ends him off by splitting Bro's dome like it's a watermelon on a hot summer day. Megumi tries to calm down and not stress about these guys' points, the new rule, and then gets 5 points from Hari. Reggie and Hazanoki flying like Mary Poppins as Reggie complains that Hari wasn't able to use his curse technique. Reggie's just like that small community of people that were mad that we didn't get to see Hari's curse technique. Let's be so for real though. Hari's curse technique would have been straight buns. He's got claws for hands. At best, his curse technique would have been the materials on his hands turning into like a suit of armor, and at worst, it would have been some random spikes coming out of him / around him, or a stronger version of his claws. Megumi gets ready to do a 2v1, but Hazanoki sneaks him with the tooth bomb, and nearly gets Megumi, but a random guy appears and takes a hit for him. It's a failed comedian goat Takaba. Yeah, this goes on for a while. Megumi and him join forces as Takaba lets off terrible jokes. I see why he's a failed comedian. He blitzes Hazanoki, putting them big red boots right in his face. Right afterwards, Megumi tries to sneak Reggie through the shadows, but a seat man dodges in the nick of time. Megumi and Takaba go over their game plan of trying to beat their reincarnated sorcerers, and Megumi wants to steal their points before ending them. Takaba isn't down to kill them since he's an entertainer and doesn't want to take away someone's ability to smile. They then split up to handle their 1v1s. Hazanoki sends an eyeball and tooth combo towards Takaba, but he literally uses the Toon Force to spawn a fan out of nowhere, knocking it away. He smacks Bomb Boy in the face and then gives him the 1000 years of death treatment. He finishes the smackdown with a rude roundhouse kick to Hazanoki's face. Bro is doing a whole ballerina spin to add insult to injury. Now the main fight of the hour is here. Megumi versus Reggie. Like, subscribe, and let's lock in. Megumi claims to be done with his colony and stops holding back. He sends New Way after Reggie, and Bro hits a mad dash trying to avoid the lightning. He sprints across some scaffolding as New knocks it down with the lightning. Reggie tosses some random nonsense towards the electrical wire trying to shock Megumi. However, Megumi's on his elite weave game as he flies across the sky with Nue and spawns in Max Elephant. It sends a huge wave of water towards Reggie, trying to soak him, but he spawns in a surfboard with one of his receipts. He rides the wave up the building, breaks the glass with a cinder block, lands on a pile of plushies, and then staples more receipts onto himself. He summons rock climbing studs to escape as the electrified water flows through. He spawns in a traffic pole to glide down the building. Reggie is really on his runaway hall of fame. He's doing anything and everything to escape as he lures Megumi into an alleyway full of receipts. Hey bro, you wanna hear a joke? Nah, I'm good bro. I said, do you wanna hear a joke? I wasn't asking. Fine, what is it?
What has 99 keys but cannot open a single door? Nigga,
Reggie really dropped a piano on a kid's head. Insane work, I'm not gonna lie. It's never that deep, never that deep. Megumi dodges it by using Rabbit Escape and also tosses a chunk of the building at Reggie using the rabbit. I know John Rabbit is in there somewhere, carrying the team hard. Reggie lands inside a church and Megumi is aura farming as he rises from his shadow. Megumi explains Reggie's technique and it's basically the epitome of random bullshit go. Reggie explains in more detail how contractual recreation works as he burns the receipts to receive what's on them. He uses the receipt to create a discounted version of the reverse curse technique. It gave him an extravagant hotel resort experience with 3 meals a day, oil massages, hot spring soak sessions, and 2 nights of good rest. Megumi on the other hand isn't looking too hot. Reggie notices his wounds from their earlier fight and how he's using multiple shikigami, so he's probably exhausted by now. He claims that they both don't have big moves, so they'll just have to chip away at each other until someone loses. Megumi ain't down for that and runs away as Reggie chases him down. He spawns in a moped and some drones to see where the potential, where Megumi is. He chases him down into a gym and wonders if it's a trap. He heads in anyway, because he's tired of playing cat and mouse. He walks in behind Megumi and wonders if bro has any other tricks up his sleeve. Megumi calls him out on his BS, because he knows Reggie got something else planned too. Right afterwards, Truck-kun and his twin come barreling through the gym ready to take another victim, but Megumi hits an insane weave and slides below the trucks. Reggie is out here talking about all sorcerers tell lies. Man.
Shut the fuck up, nigga.
Whoever told you that fit is tough is lying to you.
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
As Megumi deals with the trucks, he gets sniped in the dome with a potted plant. This gives Reggie the chance to sneak upon him with a marble statue, but once again, Megumi stays ready. He uses the broken pot to pull his sword out of the shadows and blocks Reggie's strike. Reggie burns the receipts on the floor to spawn in bouncy balls and messes up Megumi's footing. He hits him with a bundle of receipts that spawns in a bunch of random items, knocking Megumi back into a wall. Lastly, ending the combo by throwing a daikon radish, which was hiding a knife that hit Megumi's arm. Reggie explains that he can give the items simple commands before they disappear, which explains why he could do all that random crazy stuff earlier. You can actually see it the first time around when he uses the knives against Divine Dog. Reggie tells Megumi to hand over his points, so he'll give Megumi a quick ending.
No, nigga. No.
Megumi never got the hang of how barrier techniques work, so he comes up with a strategy to display his potential. Megumi is done with the Receipt Man's antics and plans to use the gym as his barrier for his domain. Bro is breathing hard as hell too, like calm down dog. He's also looking more like his two fathers every day, huh? But I digress. Reggie stands in shock as Megumi finally pops his ultimate, domain expansion, Chimera Shadow Garden. The room goes black for a moment and then flashes blue from Megumi's centrals from the domain. Megumi stares down Reggie saying, I never said I didn't have big moves. As the domain forms, Reggie locks in and uses esoteric technique, Hollow Wicker Basket. Then he explains how Hollow Wicker Basket works as Megumi beats Reggie up. There is generally so much happening on the screen during this part. I was super confused at first, but I'll break it down for y'all so it's easier to understand. I'm gonna quickly go over this before we get into the hands. So basically, Hollow Wicker Basket is the OG form of Simple Domain and neutralizes the domain and takes away the sure hit effect it has. However, since his domain is incomplete, Megumi's Shikigami can still touch Reggie, meaning that it doesn't have a sure hit effect. Also, Hollow Wicker Basket and Simple Domain can't remove curse techniques the same way Domain Amplification can. As of now, with his domain open, Megumi can access 120% of his potential. It's basically the same as if he hit a black flash. The FlrxSaucy grabs Reggie's legs and hold him in place as Megumi walks up and punches him in the face. This undoes Hollow Wicker Basket as he continues to pummel Reggie. He hits him with a right hook and has got Reggie hitting a mean Michael Jackson lean. Reggie tries to escape using the knives, but he gets strung up by more frogs before he can use them. Megumi proceeds to use Reggie like a punching bag, hitting that left-right goodnight technique just like Yuji. Reggie isn't rocking with that punching bag roll and spits out a receipt that was hidden in a pill. He shoots an arrow that cuts off the tongue, holding his left leg. He blows the ground up and uses more knives to escape. He kills himself with another hotel resort receipt, but Megumi and his clones all badly jump him. They hit the classic Naruto run and slam him around the domain like a ping pong ball. I literally had no clue what was happening the first few times I was watching this. But one clone breakdance spun Reggie around on his legs and tossed him in the air, as another clone hit Reggie with a Shaolin soccer level rainbow kick, and another lastly did a smooth slide and kicks Reggie in the chest, which bounces him around the domain. More clones came out of the shadows and tossed bro around. Reggie is literally being put in a blender. He'll need a therapy receipt to handle all that ass whooping he's getting right now. Look at his face, bro. He's already showing signs of PTMD, post-traumatic Megumi disorder. I just want to take this moment to segue and give a little PSA. If you or a loved one are struggling with PTMD, please contact your primary healthcare physician or local pharmacy. It's a very serious condition that can affect your mental, physical, and emotional state of being. If you're easily aggravated by seeing his face, you spam potential memes, you call him a bum, and your cortisol gets spiked whenever anything Megumi related pops up, you might have PTMD. These are the early signs, and it's necessary that you receive the medical help you need today. It affects people ages 12 to 22, and it's even worse for JJK fans and LARPers who can't read. Some even struggle with this today. I saw a young buck in the wild by the name of Noah SXZ, and he was foaming at the mouth. He's in critical condition, guys. It's a tragic sight. There are also various strains of it as well, commonly known as PTGD, post-traumatic Gojo disorder, and PTYD, post-traumatic Yuta disorder. Very interesting that these disorders all stem from things Gojo related. But please get the help you need today and heal from this terrible illness. Call 1-800-WMEGUMI. That's 1-800-963-4864. Once again, 1-800-WMEGUMI. Together we can overcome this. Together we win. Together we are Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's get back into action. Reggie gets kicked around the domain, but then he locks in as he isn't the type to lose easily. He tosses several receipts into the domain. At the same time, Megumi sends out multiple Nues at him. However, Reggie's attack is faster as the receipts spawn in cars that slowly sink into the domain. The weight of the cars have Megumi on the ground, struggling for dear life. Reggie exposes Megumi in 4K as he realizes that he had to reinforce his footing with cursed energy to make sure he didn't sink into the domain. They really be running up all the Naruto references in this episode. First it was the Naruto running, now it's chakra water walking. Reggie recognizes that Megumi wasn't carrying a lot of things with his shadows, so he concludes that either Megumi has to make room for himself in the shadows or he has to bear the weight of whatever entered it, and it was the latter. The three cars combined weighed 2.4 tons, and all that weight was now on Megumi. He plans to keep on adding weight until Bro is crushed, but Megumi catches Reggie lacking.
Megumi tells him that incomplete domain is still domain and that there's a shadow above them too. He proceeds to drop Max Elephant on Reggie as both of them struggle to survive. Megumi is really showing off his potential. He should have been doing this ages ago. It's a shame that Project Ripening is going to take him out the game for real. If you know, you know. We learn that the average human can withstand 5 to 6 Gs before going unconscious. However, with the car's weight on him, Megumi was currently experiencing 40 tons of G-force. For him to not become a pancake and have his blood flow to his lower body, he enforces his body with cursed energy with the main focus of the energy going towards his legs. At the same time, Reggie was squatting Max Elephant. The average adult African elephant weighs about 3 to 6 tons, and due to Megumi's domain, he was carrying that weight realistically for Reggie. Because he was carrying that weight, his right leg was getting cooked as his fibula and heel bone were cracked. Both of them could have been crushed at any second, and it's now a waiting game of who can hold out longer. Reggie wanted to crush him with the trucks, but he's semi-cooling since he still has his trump card. He goes to use it, but he can't resist the weight of Max Elephant anymore and falls into the domain. Receipt Man is just sinking into the shadows and can't breathe since there's no air. Megumi continues to bear the weight of the cars to make sure that Reggie gets cooked. However, Reggie continues to clutch up as he uses one of the cars from earlier to come back up. He didn't put any commands on the cars earlier, so they wouldn't disappear. He then uses his trump card to spawn in a small family home to crush Megumi. Once again, it's not that deep, Reggie. Bro, stay trying to crush Megumi with some large objects. The house is 132 square feet, 2-story home, and the framework alone would weigh about 30 tons. Reggie's actually freaking out so bad right now. He was using that house to chill with fine gal Remy, but he's wasting it fighting a teen. The house comes crashing down, but Reggie starts to drown. Now you may be wondering, what in the world just happened? Don't worry, I'll get to it in a second. I just need y'all to like and sub for me, Choso. Megumi has Reggie in a headlock and they start to sink. He still has the cars in his shadows as they sink. The car's weight makes them both heavy, so Reggie undoes his curse technique to survive. He then comes up from the pool completely drenched. What happened was that Megumi undid his domain at the last second as the house was falling, causing it to crash into the floor, which led to the gym's pool beneath it. Megumi calls Reggie out, saying he can't use the receipts anymore when they're wet, and Reggie is sussing Megumi out since he stayed back to replenish his curse technique after using the domain. He also claims that Megumi probably can't use his Shikigami anymore. They both know the other person is lying like hell, although Reggie is truly cooked since he can't use contractual recreation at the moment. They walk up to each other and start boxing again for the last time. We're slowing down this next part to see them elite hands. They walk up and don't even get into a fighting stance as Megumi throws the first punch while Reggie deflects. They bob and weave with Megumi going for a sidekick. Reggie hits him with an elbow and a kick, then pins him to the wall as he throws punches. Megumi hits him with a mean right hook, which has him doing a backflip. How strong was that punch? Dang! Having a grown man do a flip after getting punched is low-key insane. Reggie doesn't like that disrespect and rushes back in, trying to kick Megumi in the face, and then misses the left hook. He goes in to attack again, but Divine Dog sneaks behind him. It takes a chunk out of his left shoulder and a part of his face. Mike Tyson would be proud for real. The reincarnated sorcerer falls to his knees as Megumi lets him know that Divine Dog isn't so weak that a few knights would stop it. Reggie realizes that everything Megumi has done so far was a feint to make him believe that Megumi couldn't use his dog anymore. Reggie takes the L like a man and decides to give all his points to Megumi. This leaves Megumi in shock and wonders why Reggie did that. He claims it's one of his good deeds before passing away. He wasn't close with Kenjaku anyway, and he low-key curses Megumi as he wants fate to mess with Megumi before he dies like a fool. Megumi walks away, and several moments later, Coconut gives Megumi 5 points. This episode was Megumi's moment to shine, and he really came through for real. With that said, I'm going to speed past these next sections to wrap things up. Takaba continues to tank Hazunoki's explosions and is trolling bro the entire time. He even covered himself in sauce to rage him even more. Takaba has taken little damage during the fight because he's built different for real. Kogane comes in and tells Hazunoki that Reggie is now dead. He immediately dips out because he doesn't want to deal with Takaba's nonsense anymore. Takaba then remembers Regi's request and starts following Hazunoki for him to give up his points. Tengen explains how Takaba's technique works. It's called Comedian, and whatever Takaba finds funny will essentially become reality. It's a technique that can even rival Gojo. However, Takaba has no idea how his technique works. We cut to the toxic bum, big eye, but no brains, up to no good girl, Remy, running for her life. She's talking about how hard her life is as an adult. Do not let Remy exist in our current timeline. JJK takes place in 2018, and it's already crazy enough in their world. If she came over here now in the big 2026, she would be cooked. Let's go back to Remy yapping though. She says that men are considered wolves, but it's always the wolves that take care of her. We see that she's running for her life because Megumi is chasing her down, and he low-key wants that get back for all the BS that she pulled earlier. She's still yapping about how evil men, aka wolves, did all the hard stuff for her, and she didn't have to think about it too much since she was pretty. From the looks of it, it seems like she was getting pimped out. Also, I know I'm dragging this section out a bit, but it's still about Megumi's time to shine, even though I'm flaming Remy. Megumi walks Remy down and is going to eliminate her, but his sister voice convinces him otherwise. He spares Remy and walks off before collapsing in an alleyway. In that moment, the player that the group was looking for, Angel, appears above Megumi. What a sensational performance from the potential man himself. He really outdid himself. However, we are now done with Tokyo Calling number 1 and we enter Sendai Colony. Sendai is significantly more deadly than Tokyo right now, and this is due to several players. Dhruv Lakwadala with 91 points, Ryo Ishigori, aka Jane Juliet, with 77 points, Uro Takako with 70 points, and Kuroroshi with 54 points were the main competitors in the Sendai Colony. They were stuck in a 4-way deadlock until one of the pillars fell. The bush camper himself, Yuta Kotsu, had 35 points and eliminated Dhruv in one shot. Yuta regained his title as a special grade sorcerer 3 months after JJK 0 and is only second to Gojo in unusual abilities. That's where the episode ends. By the time you're seeing this, the finale for part 1 will probably be out. It's gonna be so peak.
Oh, so that's Takaba. He seems interesting. I can kind of see why people think he's equal to Gojo.
Do you still think you can beat him after seeing that display?
It'd be a tough battle, but I think I can still come out on top. You'll see very soon.
I believe Yuta is a big fat fraud. He got jumped by a cockroach and he kissed him too. Got tossed around by Uro and was generally running for his life against Ryu. He's lazy, he's fat, he stinks, and he's a mother.
Gotcha.
Depending on what thumbnail you saw, 1/3 of y'all are really mad at me right now. I don't really think he's a fraud, but agenda and such. We'll address that real soon. The last episode of JJK Season 3 dropped, and all I can say is... Yes! Yes! It's so peak! The finale for the season was sensational. It was 28 minutes of elite hands from start to finish. I'm gonna treat y'all today, so no black bar lines on the screen. Consider it my dessert to y'all for sticking around for so long and watching. I'm gonna be breaking down everything, and I mean everything, that happens down in this fight. If I get struck 3 years later, we let it ride, I guess. Alright, no more long talks. Grab your snacks, lunch, or whatever else you need to watch. Like and sub, and let's get into it. The sorcerer on his second reincarnation, who conquered several islands during the Civil War, the sorcerer with the highest cursed energy output out of all the players, the assassin sorcerer who can manipulate the sky, and the special grade cockroach cursed spirit were the main competitors of the Sendai Colony and are stuck in a 4-way deadlock until the bush camper Yuta came and slimed out Dhruv. Yuta was thinking to himself about the rules that they need to add to end the culling games, but he had to eliminate Dhruv since he attacked people indiscriminately. He plans to do this to all sorcerers like Dhruv who attack others for no reason before continuing with their plans. They want to add 4 rules for transferring points, leaving the culling games, passage in and out of the colonies, and communication between other colonies. Yuji already got the first rule added after his fight with Higuruma. Yuta recognizes that everyone is exhausted from the events of Shibuya, and he decides to take on the burden of handling things. He plans to kill Kenjaku so that Gojo doesn't have to eliminate his friend for a second time, and also get 400 points by himself. Right. If he wanted to get 400 points, that means he would have to take out at least 80 sorcerers. Also, another thing, it wasn't even Gojo that finished off Geto, it was technically Yuta back in JJK 0. Yes, I know that Gojo did give the finishing blow, but just walk with me here guys, okay? So if you really think about it, Yuta is really trying to run his ones back with a Walking Dead man. Let's add that to his very long list of ever-growing slander. It cuts to him talking to the civilians, trying to get them out of the area.
I will be professional. I will not do anything across the lines. I don't like minors. This is all for experiment. I will not do nothing with them.
My main question is, how is anyone still chilling within the barriers after the fact that they were all given a chance to escape earlier? Kenjaku literally went to every single person within every barrier and gave them a chance to escape, because there was an undisclosed rule of the culling games to make it work. Both he and the crowd noticed something was wrong, and he tells them to run into the stadium where Dhruv was at previously. Yuta sees this huge swarm of nasty bugs chasing 2 people. The guy on the left wasn't so lucky, and he got consumed. Yuta rushes forward to save the other guy, but yeah, he got cooked. The bugs were a swarm of roaches that struck at him, but he deflected with his sword. The swarm tries to go towards the civilians to attack them, but Yuta summons Rika to destroy the bridge. Imbuing his sword with cursed energy, he hits a wombo combo on it, causing the swarm to explode. He asks Kogane if the roach curse spirit is a player, and Kogane says, yes.
It's called the goat Kuroroshi.
All while it's overfarming under the bridge. Kuroroshi awoke from his hibernation to continue his rampage now that Dhruv was gone, as Dhruv was his counter in the 4-way deadlock. Yuta goes to square up against it as Kuro pulls out his festering life sword. Mappa doesn't explain how any of these weapons work, just like in the Maki episode, so I'll give you a quick rundown. The festering life sword is an enchanted blade that mixes life and death. Son, this is not Kakurabachi. That weapon description low-key explains nothing though. However, we get more details about it later with how this blade works. It has barrels on the front of it that can shoot eggs out, which burrow into the target, and soon after, they hatch, causing insects to burst out of them. Kuro uses to shoot a few eggs at Yuta, but Yuta deflects them. The Kuroshi tries to rush Yuta but gets his arm cut off. Yuta pins that arm to the bridge, hits Kuro with a mean backhand that sends it flying, and then gets his sword back to attack Kuro again. Kuro blocks it by turning into a swarm again and makes Yuta hit a zesty backflip onto the light pole. Yuta realizes that the other two Sendai Colony players are watching him and knows he can eliminate Kuro by using RCT on it, but he doesn't want the other players to know that he has that ability. He asks Kuro why he attacks people, and he says,
"I like the taste of iron."
Kuro got him running surprisingly fast as a huge swarm of roaches hawks him down. Oh my days, look at that running sequence, this is so beautiful! Yuta weaves the attack and deflects again with his sword. Kuro partially reforms and swings his severed arm that was holding the festering life sword at Yuta. I've never seen a roach have this much aura before, it's low-key insane. They're usually very nasty and chill in cribs with some nasty people, bro. Kuro summons two giant roach pillars to crush the bush camper, but once again, Yuta blocks the strike. The pillars fall into the ground and spin around like tornadoes that slowly close up on him, but Yuta slams his sword into the ground and twists it, making a huge cursed energy wave that blows the roaches away. He gets ready for the sneak attack from Kuro as he puts the sword back into its sheath. Two curses come behind him and Yuta cuts them out quickly, but it was a trap the whole time. Yuta fell for the feint, and the bugs sprayed their gooey remains into his eyes, leaving him temporarily blinded. Kuro sneaks up behind him and goes for the strike. Yuta blocks, but the roach's blade fires its eggs into his shoulder. They hit a quick little exchange as they circle around each other, and then hit the classic samurai standoff clash. Yuta loses the clash with Yuta getting a deep wound to his stomach. We see a live replay of what just went down, like we're getting a VAR of a soccer goal. Their swords clash, but the eggs that went to his shoulder burst out, causing him to miss a strike as Kuro hit him clean in the gut. The goated curse grabs the bush camper by the neck and is about to end him, but Yuta does what he knows best. He grabs Kuro by the face and gives him a sloppy French kiss. Kuro explodes since that kiss was filled with positive curse energy. Yuta's just like me for real. Besides the kissing. He's out here killing bugs, and I did the same for real. I just took a big ass wasp, so I was hiding in my bathroom a few days ago. Kogane tells Yuta that he gained 5 points, but Earl comes out of nowhere and jump scares him since she saw that he can use RCT. She blasts him away into the city with her curse technique. Before we continue though, word on the street is that Yuta faked his win against the goated Stanford nuclear physicist, Kuroshi. He had to lure him into the field so he could bush camp and hide. Yet, since the GOAT Kuro was so smart, he used that home field advantage against Yuta, just like we saw earlier. Sadly though, Yuta used his stinky breath to take yes you and me, our GOAT Kuro out. Yuta had 20 bean burritos on his way here before entering Sendai. I know I said it was RCT earlier, but I can't lie to y'all on this wonderful day, dog. F in the chat for Kuro, you will be missed. Alright, let's get back into the action. Uro goes through the smoke to punch him, but he dodges. He tries to counter with a strike back, but he's getting put on front watch as he tries to steal Luffy's moveset. She hits him with another move from her technique, blasting him down the block into another building. He gets back up after making sure everything was okay, and he starts to break down how her curse technique works. However, Uro just tells him that her CT allows her to manipulate the sky as a surface. Telling him this gives her a boost of power, and she's trying to bait him to attacking her already. Yuta, however, is rage baiting her, saying, "You won't complain if I wipe you off the map, right? You're really strong, and you can get points whenever, so I don't really know why you're attacking randoms." Uro is mad confused by this since she rebuts him, letting Yuta know that reincarnated people with no regrets wouldn't join this game, and since it's Kenjaku, you can never be too safe. This is our second chance at life, we got to stock up on as many points as we can. Yuta ignores that yapping and continues to rage bait her. You ain't got no friends, you don't have any money, your fit is trash, and you have no lover?
That's a lot of damage!
That's tragic for real. I was just like you a few months ago, but even then, I couldn't sympathize with your behavior. You're attacking people thousands of years past your time. That's kinda lame, bro.
Everything you got on the floor right now, that's including your shorts, and take them off slow because you look good.
Uro immediately falls to the rage bait and claims that Yuta is a part of the evil Fujiwara clan. He's actually part of the Sugiwara clan, as Gojo mentioned him back in JJK 0, but Yuta has little interest in knowing more about that. She then chokes him out and slams him through the building and into the sky as they continue fighting. Ryu then pops out of nowhere, saying Granite Blast, and it blows both of them away with a beam. Yuta is thinking to himself that he has to take out Ryu quickly, because if he attacked the stadium where Rika is, some people still may get cooked. Uro has the same idea and plans to take out Ryu and Yuta. Yuta rushes forward as Ryu shoots out more granite blasts. Yuta weaves the blast, swinging around the pole, then using that same pole to deflect the incoming blast. However, too many beams hit him and he gets boomed into the bridge. Ryu thinks the job is finished, but Yuta continues to be a bush camper and sneaks up behind him. Yuta got away because that's where Rika made the hole earlier. Yuta is trying to run the runs, and Ryu wonders if Yuta will be the one to satisfy his hunger. We are now introduced to the GOAT Ryu, aka Jane Juliet. Ryu asks if you would tell a kid to slow down during a feast. Yuta obviously says, yes, most people would. You wouldn't want the kids choking on the food. Ryu recognizes that that was a bad example, and then he tells Yuta his life story. His first life was somewhat fulfilling. He had some good fights, met a nice lady, and was making a bag back in his day. Yet, he still had this annoying, vague hunger in his life because he had no dessert. Yuta gets ready for a strike, and Jane Juliet hits a mean strike onto his arm. They have a quick clash as Ryu wonders why he's so unsatisfied. They end up back to back with the cursed energies clashing. Ryu hits Yuta with a booty bump and it blasts into the sky. Look at this frame, bro. Yuta's getting done dirty. It's literally 1-to-1 with the manga. Ryu chases after him and sends a beam at Yuta. The bush camper dodges low like he's playing limbo or something, and Ryu then slams him into the building below. He tries to laser Yuta down, but destroys the building. Yuta springs back in and they start fish clashing. Yuta jumps behind him to put him in a rear naked choke, but Ryu grand blasts him back into a wall. Yuta uses his 200 IQ to use that momentum and slams Jane Juliet into the ground, then tosses him out of the building. He grabs his clothesline pole and imbues it with cursed energy as he starts swinging it at Jane Juliet. Ryu fires another granite blast that fries Yuta's hand. The blast burnt him so badly that he turned black. He fires another blast that snaps the pole, then has Yuta doing backflips just like Sukuna vs Maharaga in Shibuya to avoid the beams. He heals his hand, but literally a second later, Ryu bursts through like the Kool-Aid Man, knocking him into the ground. They landed some train tracks with Ryu being curious why Yuta isn't summoning Rika. He decided to lure Yuta into the tunnel as he rapidly fires his granite blast. Yuta easily blocks the strike, so Jane decided to turn up the heat. He grips his hair. Hey, yo! Why is he doing all that? He's got the death grip of doom. This did not happen in the manga. Kenjaku is bringing back all these freaky Culling game players, but I digress. Jane Juliet grips his hair, which condenses the beam, and it snaps the pole that Yuta was holding. He continues his assault with these concentrated beams, but Yuta is weaving all of them. He closes in on Ryu, but the man releases a giant blast that fills the whole tunnel. Ryu's hair overheats, and he starts to come back into place, but Yuta drops Thomas the Tank Engine's Choso onto Ryu. He then kicks Ryu out of the tunnel up into another building. Jane Juliet, you know what, I'm gonna call him JJ from now on. JJ wonders if Yuta is his dessert as he takes another granite blast to the hand, punching his way through the beam. The blaster blows him away out of the building and lands him right into Uro. She charges up her technique while explaining how it works, and once again blows his back out with Thin Icebreaker. She can't cause physical damage with her technique, but she targets the surface of the sky, and the attack sends Yuta flying back down into another building. I've never seen this much property damage in my life. Tokyo Colony was not moving like this. Ryu doesn't like that his 1v1 was interrupted as he sends a blast towards Uro, but she just wraps it around her and sends it back at him. Ryu is shocked by how badly his own ability hurts, and Uro is surprised that Yuta can still fight.
Perfect.
RCT uses too much energy, making Yuta feel exhausted. Ryu notices that and gets upset that Yuta wasn't the dessert he was expecting. However, Yuta is thinking to himself, this ain't it, as he wanted to put more distance between himself and the people in the stadium, but these two players are no joke. With another near 1-to-1 panel, he puts on his ring, saying,
"Come, Rika, give me everything."
He summons Rika, and his cursed energy reserves immediately surge back up. The Queen of Curses finally arrives once again, and the two are aura farming hard. Now, if you're wondering why she's back after being set free in JJK 0, long story short, the cursed Rika is free, but this Rika is a part of Yuta's technique. Yes, you heard that right. Rika is a part of Yuta's technique. With the ring on, he can access the full manifestation of this Rika, all the cursed energy he has, along with access to the weapon stockpile he has. He can maintain this connection for only 5 minutes, just make it count. Rika equips him with that vibranium arm just like Bucky. See, now I know why bro is chilling in Africa. I low-key wonder if JJK has his own version of the Avengers, but with like Jujutsu sorcerers. That'd go crazy for real. Even better, this 1v1v1 is about to go crazy. So, Rika chases after Uro first, as the humble homeless lady prepares for an attack from the cursed spirit. Unfortunately, she fell for the Hesi because Yuta uses Inumaki's technique and told her to not move. He pulls up behind her as both Rika and him start pummeling on Uro. JJ doesn't like that he's being left out and sends several granite blasts at the group. Rika launches Yuta at him as JJ sends out another blast. Yuta is on his superhero timing though and flies through the beam like he's Superman using the new arm. Uro is pissed and she starts shaking the ground like it's one of those rainbow parachute tarps we used to play with back in elementary school. He's really moving like Joy Boy for real. As this happens, Ryu rushes back in to run the ones again with Yuta, sending more granite blasts. Yuta weaves one of the blasts, and Uro grabs it, swinging back at the duo, knocking Ryu out. She tries to attack Yuta from behind, but Rika flies down to block the advance. Uro wraps the sky around Rika and has got all her punches missing as Uro and Yuta box. She then warps the sky and makes Rika punch Yuta. Yeah, Uro is cooked. She messed up big time. Rika crashes out since she was forced to punch Yuta.
Damn. He really about to rock my shit.
She hits a ground slam combo and then grabs one of Uro's legs and tosses her. Uro uses her technique to avoid being slammed into a building as Rika continues to hawk her down. As the ladies have their 1v1, Ryu returns for round 2. He stands there aura farming as he turns his granite blast into a ring of energy that does damage to Yuta's vibranium arm. Yuta locks in and enters the ring as they start boxing, and the girls' fight is still going on strong in the background. Then out of nowhere, Rika comes flying down between the guys' fight. Yuta looks up to see Uro charging a mean Thin Icebreaker on everyone as they all block for their lives. We get a quick flashback to Uro's backstory. He was an assassin with no name that served under the Fujiwara clan, but one day the leader gave her a name just so he could execute her for a crime that he committed. He took out his own son and blamed it on her. It makes a bunch of sense now why she hates the clan so much. Yuta is still in superhero timing as he jumps off of Rika's arm like a launch pad and soars toward Uro. He turns a few strands of his hair into mini bat Rikas as Ryu starts to box Rika. Going back to the rooftop fight, Uro manipulates the sky and crushes one of the mini Shikigami. He's freaking out still as Yuta gets ready to use cursed speech again. Uro was ready this time, but it was another 200 IQ play from Yuta as he uses Ryu's technique to cut her. His curse technique turns Shikigami's path into a domain that cuts anything that touches it. Because of this, she learns that Yuta's technique is copy. Yuta pulls up, about to hit her with a mean punch to the face, but she blocks it using Thin Icebreaker, and his vibranium arm breaks from all the strain. Down below, JJ is putting BTA on Rika as he spends more Granite Blast. Yuta and Uro are having a back and forth about living for others and trying not to be selfish. Uro gets pissed at that, saying, only people who are blessed can say something that absurd, just as Rika and Ryu burst out of the building at the same time. Uro really needs some therapy sessions for real. That PTYD is hitting her hard. Ryu blasts Rika away and jumps down as Bro is cheesing hard as he beats on his chest. The chest drilling breaks the pillars holding the building as the three of them lock eyes. Ryu tells them to quit complaining as words are pointless. The only thing you need to do is like and subscribe to FlrxSaucy. True words have never been spoken. They all do their hand signs and lock in. The moment y'all have been waiting for is finally here. Jay and Juliet, the bush camper, and the humble homeless lady are all ready to put everything on the line as they scream out, Roaring Tenkai! They hit a three-way domain expansion and it's done so beautifully. We even get glimmers of all their domains. The one with swords being Yuta's, the domain with fireworks and sweets being Ryu's, and lastly, the domain with silk drapes and a row of fire being Uro's. Now this is cinema! Rika crashes out and wants to get Yuta back. The reincarnated sorcerers know that the domains won't last and that their sure hit effects will all cancel out, but this is done on purpose so that Yuta couldn't use Rika. The Queen of Curses rushes towards the domain, however, something reaches it first. The Black Devil of the modern age, the goated Stanford nuclear physicist, the curse that everybody invited, our goat Kuroroshi comes back saying, I love the taste of alone. He flies into the domain, catching everyone off guard, and also has some of the roaches distract Rika on the outside of the domain. Kuroroshi had completed parthenogenesis before it went dormant earlier. That's basically the process of asexual reproduction. It created a child version of itself, and all the cursed energy and fear associated with the OG Kuroroshi went to its offspring. Kuroroshi, the Culling Games player, was dead, but it was alive and well as a cursed spirit. As for the others, the complex forces of the three domains kept them in check, but the unexpected intruder destabilized the domains. Therefore, the barriers broke and they finally collapsed. Uro was distracted by the fact that Kuro was still alive, but Yuta saw this opening and snuck her. She threw in the back, making her fly towards the curse and hitting the ground. Kuro runs towards her for those free eats. She tries to use her technique, but it fails due to Kurt's technique burnout since they all just pod their domains. Kuro proceeds to cut her arm off with the flashing life sword, and we see in the background that Rika is chomping on her arm like it's a 10-piece hot honey bucket of fried chicken. Uro is still pissed at Yuta, but Ryo is getting sick of these games. He tells Uro that she and Kuroroshi weren't invited to the table and wants them to go sit down at the kitty corner like a good girl and Roach. He fires a giant granite blast that sends the two flying back. Uro gets slammed into a wall and is down for the count as Tengen explains Ryu's curse technique. It's cursed energy discharge and it's a very simple attack. So even though everyone is suffering from cursed technique burnout, Ryu can still perform at max output. Kuro tries to attack again, but Yuta eliminates it a second time with RCT. Look at bro's face, dog. Yuta is so tired of this nonsense. Round 3 of their fight is about to begin. The sorcerer with the highest cursed energy output versus the sorcerer with the... My lawyer told me to not finish that joke. Yeah, he advised me not to finish that joke, but if you know, you know. Yuta walks up to Ryu with Rika trailing behind him. Ryu says, "Come have a seat at my table, Okotsu." Yuta's cursed technique still hasn't come back yet. They stare each other down as they start charging up their beams. Tengen lets us know that Yuta can discharge a high volume of cursed energy only when Rika is fully manifested. However, his max output is slightly weaker than Ryu's, so Yuta plans on sneaking Ryu and shooting his beam first before Ryu could charge up his max output. However, 400 years of longing was in Genju's eyes, and it said, "Let's go all out." That gaze melted Yuta's heart and made him change his plans, even though he would never find any joy in fighting. He gives a soft smile saying, "Just this once," as about to beam clash. They lock in and... Wait. This feels so right, but something is off. We have the conclusion of this epic battle, and Aizo is playing in the background. But this song, this moment, isn't it. We got what we wanted, but this isn't what we need. I also have an unsatisfied hunger. Just like Ryu Shiguri, I've also waited. I was there when the manga was still ongoing and will still be here after the story concludes, God willing. For these 4 months, I sat through the season while it was airing, watching the ups and downs, the LARPers, the exposition dumps, the manga one-to-one truthers, the ghost of cinematic moments, and the complaints of those who can't read saying the animation is bad. I also had any doubts swelling up inside. I troll and I slander the characters, the JJK fans, and the fake fans all the same, but I never got to experience the joy of being the fool who got to adore you guys. I was getting my meal with the hype moments and aura of Yuta vs Yuji back in episode 1, Naoya vs Choso, more lure dumping, Maki causing a massacre as she fought the Zenin clan, Megumi living up to his potential with his 2 fights this season, and so much more in between. I've always made sure my videos feel like you're rewatching the episode, but in a more entertaining way. But even with all that, I was missing my dessert. It's something... Oh, I know now. I never did invite you guys to my table. How can you really enjoy a good meal without family and friends? In this case, you guys. Just like Ryu, aka Jane Juliet, wanting to go all out, I want to do the same. This is my dessert to you for sticking around for so long and always liking and subscribing. Let's go all out, guys. Just this once, okay? Let's LARP. The 2 players are amped as they left other beams and they clash, causing a huge explosion. Ryu's really excited about this and outputs more power which overtakes Yuta's beam, sending Yuta flying back. There's another beam charging up in the smoke and Jane Juliet gets excited once again as he wants more. The smoke clears, showing that it was Rika charging up the beam. The bush camper simultaneously rushes Ryu at the same time as the beam goes off, trying to pull a sneak attack. Ryu is surprised that Rika can fight by herself, but he knows his output is weak, so he easily blocks it. He knows that Yuta is exhausted from earlier after the domain expansion and his battle with him, so he plans to end things quickly. JJ grips his hair again and sends a concentrated max output granite blast towards bush camper Yuta. However, Yuta grabs the sky and sends the blast flying upwards. His technique has already recovered and JJ is standing there in shock because the big BCY was using Uro's technique. He thought he was a cursed peach user and that the Shikigami just had a different technique altogether, but he realized that the big Yuta CT was actually a copy. With the technique that strong, JJ wonders how Yuta even fulfilled the conditions for it, but he realizes that it was back when Rika was chowing down on Uro's arm. Jane Juliet overheats as the bush camper then hits him with a devious dance breaker right to the gut. The big user brings his hands down and Rika sends her fist into JJ, giving him insane CTE. He tries to hit another thin icebreaker, but the time limit between him and Rika is over. No longer having access to Rika and the enormous pool of cursed energy, Jane Juliet takes advantage of the situation by giving Rika a mean backhand and Yuta a strong knee to the face. Rika disappears and Yuta ends up blocking the strike with his arm, but it's badly bruised. Yuta kicks JJ right in the jaw as the latter counters to the liver shot. Dumb boys are throwing straight hands, all haymakers too, and neither of them is dodging. JJ is so ecstatic that there's even more after going all out. This is his dessert. The desserts are being eaten along with each punch the guys throw at each other. They hit that finishing move just like Naruto and Sasuke. Yuta weaves Ryu's next strike and then grabs onto him.
We're done here, Jane Juliet. Thanks for the upscale, but it's GG's.
He holds him in place as the Grand Blast from earlier comes crashing down. JJ gets absolutely fried by his own attack and looks like a brother for Ryu. But finally, all the desserts have been finished and Ryu gives a satisfied look to Yuta and lets us know that he's finally full before collapsing. He wakes up a little while later and it seems like Yuta healed them both since JJ ain't looking like a burnt chicken nugget for real. He scolds Yuta for being so soft, especially to people that just tried to eliminate him like 10 minutes ago. Yuta agrees and mentions that Uro said the same thing. Ryu is shocked by the fact and admits that his Granite Blast output was probably weaker after the main expansion. He questions whether something was going on between the two of them, as Yuta had no clue. Yuta claims that he couldn't have said anything to change her mind because he's just blessed like that for real. Ryu doesn't understand what he's talking about. That CTE from earlier is starting to creep in. Yuta gets up and asks for Ishiguro's points as Kogane pops up. Ryu finally understands as he realizes that Yuta would have taken him out if it weren't for the new rule that allowed transferring of points. Yuta's trying to be all nonchalant, saying, "I'm not so sure. This nigga is lying his ass off. Bro was hitting Superman moves, grabbing poles to turn them into destructive weapons, did some elite JJK jumpings, and even had to pop his domain. And he's here talking about some nah. I would have spared you guys."
Oh my god, Yuta! We love you, Yuta! Wow! Yuta!
How did you do that, Yuta?
Look over here, Yuta!
Yuta was going crazy.
Is this the pinnacle of
Oh my
Jujutsu sorcery?
gosh, Yuta! Yuta!
Oh my gosh, have my kids Yuta Kotsu?
Ladies, chill. It's nothing crazy for real. I'm just that guy. I had to show you, while I am second to Gojo, of course. How do you feel after that amazing performance, Yuta? I feel pretty good. I had to go all out there at the end, but I gave a solid performance. Earl was a difficult combatant, and she had me stressed for a moment, but I soon understood her technique. Even used it against Ryu. Speaking of Ryu...
Also, one more thing, Yuta. Thanks for dessert, but what is it? Why did you call me Jane Julie back there when we were fighting? Oh, well, that's because you're early. You give Jane vibes. What about the Juliet part? Oh, well, that's because we had a little rumors going on for real. 400 years of longing is kinda crazy, wouldn't you say? Oh yeah, perhaps you're right. Jane Juliet, huh? Has a nice little ring to it.
Ryu was an even match for me, and was even a more interesting person to fight. That three-way domain clash was something else though. With that said, I've gotten the points that we need. I'm ready to end these games and unseal Gojo. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for having me.
Ryu then transfers his points to Yuta, but keeps 1 point, so he doesn't have to fight again for the next 19 days. And through the transfer of Ryu and Uro's points, Yuta now has a total of 190 points. The group is nearly 3/4 of the way there to completing their mission since Yuji already added Rule 1. Yuta can use his points to add another rule. Lastly, if the group combines their remaining points with Yuta's, then they can add the last 2 rules they need. Yuta's walking away as we flash back to several moments ago when Uro and Yuta were talking. We see the upcoming plans for the next season in Sukuna's Heian era form. It looks so freaking peak! We also see the goat Miwa showing her along as she can solo the entire Culling games with her eyes closed and with one hand behind her back. As well as Mama Yuki finally appearing back on the screen after so long with a new fit. We see Angel carrying Megumi somewhere and Kenjaku placing the prison realm deep into the ocean. Bro does not want Gojo escaping. But the final scene of the season being Sukuna chilling within his inner realm inside Yuji as Yuji and Takaba somehow meet up and are running towards something. As all this is happening, Uro is giving Yuta a warning that strong sorcerers are very egotistical people who do not yield to anyone and are calamities wherever they go. That's where JJK Season 3 Part 1 ends. Whether we get a Part 2 or another season will just be determined with time. With all that said, thank you Mappa. We feasted on this season and finally got our dessert. I don't know about y'all, but I'm full. Comment down below your thoughts on the season though. This episode's finale was so sensational. My pants were soaked. I went back and rewatched this finale like 6 or 7 different times. It was a beautiful spectacle to behold and I can't wait for more. From start to finish, the animation, the fight sequences, the plot, the compositing, and the overall storytelling were overwhelmingly sensational. My only small complaints were the use of CGI in some areas where it's obviously visible, and Mappa once again omitting the descriptions of weapons and the thoughts of certain characters. They did that once before in the Maki episode also, and once again here for the finale. Besides that though, I can't really complain. I rate this a solid 9.5 out of 10. As for the entire season, somewhere between like a 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. Thanks for sitting at my table. I hope you enjoyed this delicious meal as much as I did, and that this video brightened up your day. I wish you guys the best, and that you're all having a good day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or nighttime for y'all. It's also Easter by now, so I hope you guys are having a wonderful Easter. It's been a long journey, and I can't wait to see where we go next. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I plan to drop more videos like this for different series, but I also want to make more analysis-based videos. Let me know what you all want to see from me. Before we go, I also want to end this video off with a quick prayer for those who need it. My hey, close your eyes, y'all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here today as we ask for your blessings of our lives. Thank you for your resurrection and your grace and mercy upon us. Thank you for all the things you've done for us thus far, Lord. May you grant us peace of mind, Lord. You know, those struggling with mental health, thoughts of destruction or self-hatred or anything. May you free them from those shackles, Lord. May you deliver us from our pains, our iniquities, our sufferings. Though, Lord, we are all going through trying times. Those who are behind on finances, rent, things that they need, life necessities, Lord, may you give them the finances and the wealth necessary to continue to thrive, Lord. Not to be just in a state of survival, but a state of revival and thriving. Lord, may you give us peace of mind as we continue through the week and through this month and through the rest of the year, Lord. And just like how we saw Ryu getting his dessert from Yuta, may you give us the dessert of everlasting life, Lord. May you lead us into the land of milk and honey as we seek your guidance, your strength, your peace, your love, and your kindness. May we have the fruits of the Spirit and grow to be stronger, better people. In your name, Lord. May we be delivered from anything, from all enemies that come to try and attack us. May we be stopped and rebuked. What is meant for our evil, may you turn to our good Lord. And as for those people that do not know you, may this video find them, they come to you and have an encounter with you, Lord, and that they grow and change for the better. Once again, Lord, we ask for your blessing of our lives. May we be covered by your blood, may we be fulfilled, and may we all thrive together in your mighty name of Jesus, Lord. Now and forevermore, we ask in prayer, we say amen. Once again, guys, thanks for stopping by. I deeply appreciate it. I love y'all, and I'll continue to let y'all know that Jesus loves you too. Stay blessed and peace out.